Hey everyone, welcome to Firescale Audiobooks. If you enjoy the audiobooks, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to support us further, consider becoming a Patreon member. As a member, you'll gain the ability to request the next part of a novel audiobook I've uploaded, depending on your Patreon tier.
Fang Heng had no time to read the game log. He was staring intensely at the entrance of the restaurant. Ordinary zombies were no threat to him at all. The zombie clones had no energy or vitality. They could attack and deal damage 24 hours a day without consuming ammunition. These ordinary zombies were no different from an assembly line giving experience points. They were not a concern to Fang Heng. Even if there were hundreds of thousands of zombies outside, he wasn't afraid. The premise was that they had to keep coming over without causing the whole building to collapse. Right now, Fang Heng was most worried about the mutated zombies. His current zombie clones couldn't defend against attacks from the mutated zombies. If they encountered the mutated zombies, they would be killed. Once the number of zombie clones decreased to a certain extent, his defensive line would also collapse. Fang Heng held a shotgun in his hand and stared at the entrance. After a period of gaming, Fang Heng had already fused most of this body's memories of the game. Through the movements of the zombies and some of their subtle actions, he could distinguish the form and type of the zombies. Coupled with the enhancement of his perceptive ability. It's coming. Mutated zombie physique enhancement. As soon as the mutated zombie, which was mixed in with the ordinary zombies, stepped through the entranceway, a figure flashed to its side. The dark muzzle was aimed at the mutated zombie's head. Boom. Fang Heng pulled the trigger. Half of the mutated zombie's head was blown into pieces by the shotgun at close range. It was a bloody mess. The mutated zombie, which had the physique enhancement attribute, was still not completely dead, and its body could not help but fall backwards. It's quite fleshy. Fang Heng muttered softly, and once again pulled the trigger. Boom. The second shot completely blasted the remaining half of the mutated zombie's head into pieces. After clearing out the mutated zombie that was mixed in the zombie crowd, Fang Heng quickly retreated. Amazing. Fang Heng couldn't help but be amazed at the enhancement effect brought by his physical quality. In the past, killing mutated zombies wouldn't be so easy. This time, I'll probably be able to collect a lot of crystal fragments. When the time comes, I'll see if Qiu Yaokong has any other enhancement potions. At 9 p.m., the sky was completely dark. Hao Zhou and the others returned to the Federation's temporary warehouse to seek shelter. The few of them sat around the bonfire. Everyone was in low spirits and remained silent. The moment they returned to the warehouse, they immediately tried to look for Old Black. However, Old Black had already disappeared without a trace. They could not contact him online or offline. As for Fang Heng, Hao Zhou also tried to send him a message, but he did not receive any response. They all felt that Fang Heng's situation was not good. In the game, sending messages to a friend via the survival radio was very limited. If a friend was a distance away or was not online, including death, even if they sent him a message, he would not be able to receive it. And as the sender, Hao Zhou also could not know whether Fang Heng had received the message or not. Sisterly broke the silence and asked, "Is there still no news from Fang Heng?" Hao Zhou shook his head. It's been so long and he still hasn't replied. I'm afraid he's doomed. Kuan-Ba clenched his fists, feeling pain in his heart. Not only had he not completed the mission, but he had also lost a teammate. Just thinking about it made him feel unbearable. Everyone's mood was a little low. When they escaped from the town, they saw with their own eyes that so many zombies were gathering toward the community hospital. The hospital was surrounded by more than 10 layers of zombies and there was no way to escape. The impact of the explosion was much stronger than they had expected. Hao Zhou regretted it when he saw this scene. He regretted agreeing to leave Fang Heng alone in the hospital. He put himself in Fang Heng's shoes. If it was him, he couldn't think of any way to survive given the conditions. But Hao Zhou still had a glimmer of hope for Fang Heng. What if? What if he could? What if he had some special equipment? Hao Zhou sighed in his heart. Everyone is tired today. Go offline and rest. I'll stay a little longer and try to contact Old Black and Fang Heng. As he said this, Hao Zhou was suddenly stunned by something. His expression changed slightly and he immediately opened the survival radio to check. Fang Heng, thank you, I'm fine. I've already edited the recording. When I go offline, I'll find an opportunity to give you. Give me your email address. Haozhou was greatly surprised and immediately replied by giving Fang Heng his email address. What's wrong? Did you find something? Old Black replied to you. No. Haozhou looked up and his eyes regained their excitement. It's Fang Heng. He's fine. That's great. He even completed the mission. Sisterly was surprised at first, but then her expression softened. She nodded. It's good that he's fine. Pa. The two brothers, Kuan Ba and Kuan Ta, excitedly high-fived each other and regained their smiles. Brother, I knew he would be fine. Haha, that guy is indeed very resourceful. He can still escape under that state. Needless to say, his equipment has always been pretty good. Those zombies still can't deal with him. Ha 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 ha. Kuan Ba was quite happy. As he spoke, he turned his head and asked, Haozhou, where is he now? I don't know. He asked me to give him my email address. He will send me the video of the explosion of the generator set when he is free. Kuan Ba nodded, but he felt that something was not right. He asked in surprise, That's not right. Since he has come out, why didn't he come to find us directly? Huh. This question made everyone, who was initially joyful, fell into silence again. They turned their heads to look in the direction of Hopetown at the same time. Could it be? Are you trying to say that he's still in the community hospital? What else? Otherwise, why didn't he come to us directly to collect the reward together? Haozhou opened his mouth. Fang Heng was still in the town hospital all by himself. Let me ask him. Haozhou immediately contacted Fang Heng again, and everyone inched forward and gathered around the survival radio to check. Haozhou, you're still in the hospital. How's the situation? Do you want us to go back and save you? Fang Heng, yes, I'm still here. Don't come looking for me. I'm in a good condition now. I'll find an opportunity to log off and send the video to you guys first. Seeing the reply from Fang Heng on the survival radio, everyone fell into silence again. A person guarding the small town hospital that was surrounded by countless zombies. How could he live well? He even had the time to log off and send Haozhou a video file. What kind of situation was this? What was his strength like? Haozhou and the others could not understand. Kuan Ta scratched his head and asked, Brother, what equipment can keep him in there for so long? Kuan Ba shook his head. He could not think of an answer either. The focused flamethrower was one of them, but a player's backpack was only so big. It was impossible to carry so much fuel inside. Moreover, the focused flamethrower had a cooldown limit, so it could not be used for a long time. Haozhou laughed bitterly and said, to be precise, the question is where did he get so many high-level weapons? The few of them looked at one another again. Sisterly joked, I think he emptied the Apocalypse merchant camp. He can even empty the Apocalypse merchant camp. Haozhou was also amused. Don't tell me he's related to the Apocalypse merchant. The two brothers, Kuan Ba and Kuan Ta, turned their heads to look at Haozhou at the same time. Isn't it so? In the game, Fang Heng was sitting in front of a bonfire. His whole body was aching. He was too tired. The zombies outside the hospital continued to attack the entrances of the hospital for 3.5 hours. After that, they slowly stopped. Fang Heng divided the zombies into two groups. A small group was responsible for cleaning the rooms on the second and third floors of the hospital and collecting materials. Fang Heng himself led a large group of zombie clones to launch a counterattack, cleaning the first floor from the stairway. The first floor of the hospital had been completely occupied by the zombies. Fang Heng had no choice but to clean up the zombies that were pouring in from the outside. At the same time, he had to find time to reinstall the windows that were broken by the zombies. All of this would take a lot of time. It was easy to repair the ordinary small windows, but the last one was the entrance to the hospital. The zombies that were pouring in from the outside were inexhaustible. After a few rounds of going back and forth, Fang Heng had to change his plan. He forcibly used the focused flamethrower to burn a wave of zombies outside, buying himself some time. Only then did he manage to seal the entrance. After closing the door, the zombies outside began to gather around and continue scratching the door. Fang Heng also had a countermeasure. He chose a few zombie clones and ordered them to keep repairing the door. As for the repair materials, he didn't lack them either. He could just chop any furniture or tables. It wasn't until 5 minutes ago did Fang Heng manage to maintain the durability of the door. He then had time to catch his breath and reply to Hao Zhou. How tiring. The zombies that were sent out to search around the hospital began to return one by one, bringing some materials. Fang Heng sat in front of the bonfire and counted his earnings for the day. Hard work was hard work, but the earnings were equally gratifying. He had killed a total of more than 6,000 zombies, earning more than 10,000 survival points. The ammunition that he had used up previously had cost a lot of survival points. The survival points that he had gained from the scavenging were enough to recoup his losses. He also earned more than 1,000 evolution crystal fragments. When he get back, he could let Qiu Yaokong study them for a while. Finally, there were all kinds of miscellaneous items and books that had a small chance of dropping after a zombie died. Fang Heng opened the small manuals in front of him one by one. Recipe: stir-fried meat with green pepper. Recipe: shredded potatoes with hot and sour sauce. Recipe: eggs with spring onion. Recipe: stewed eggplant in oil. I don't want to be a chef. Why do you keep giving me recipes? Fang Heng felt his body ache. He opened the last manual. There's finally a skill book. Fang Heng experienced a moment of joy. Skill book, Miner's Wisdom. Description: after use, master the skill Miner's Wisdom. Skill description: there is a 0.005% chance to obtain precious metals when excavating high-value ores. This skill can be upgraded to level 20. The skill level cannot exceed the current player's level. Fang Heng's face turned black. Okay, Miner skill book. In the old server, almost every professional bricklayer in the game had one copy. With this skill, they were lucky enough to dig out an extra piece of gold when they were mining. The gold could be exchanged for a lot of materials from the apocalypse merchants. This skill book was a must-have for the workers, increasing their output. It's just the lives of the workers. It was better than nothing. After all, the zombie clones could also inherit the skill. In the future, the zombies would be able to dig out some gold when they were mining. Fang Heng patted the recipe and the skill book on his head. Hint: you have learned the recipe: stir-fried meat with green pepper. Recipe: shredded potatoes with hot and sour sauce. Recipe: eggs with spring onion. Recipe: stewed eggplant in oil. You have gained cooking skill experience points 82. Hint: you have learned the skill Miner's Wisdom, level 1. Putting away the skill book, Fang Heng went offline on the spot. He went to the rest room to take a nap. Before he left, Fang Heng used the game cabin to export the video of the explosion of the generator set and sent it to the email address specified by Hao Zhou. Morning, 2 a.m. The computer screen played the scene of the warehouse being destroyed. Old Black took out his phone and dialed the number skillfully. Mission completed. Alex is expected to activate within 20 to 40 hours. Well done. The Tier 4 complete mutated zombie will go berserk. When that happens, the Federation will have a headache dealing with him. Hee, this will at least slow down their main storyline mission progress for half a month. Continue to track down the remaining T-virus serum. We must take down this world. At the same time, the Federation warehouse resource point had also noticed the changes in the town. The leader of the Federal Action Team, Lindong, frowned. Not long ago, he received an order from his superior to set up a warehouse resource point here, in charge of collecting materials from the outside world. Apart from that, he also had another important mission. He had to pay attention and observe Hope Town, and think of a way to clean up the zombies in the town. Lindong learned from his superior that there was a secret research room of the meteorite company hidden somewhere in this town. There might even be a T-virus serum in the secret research room. The T-virus serum was a mission item related to the Dark Knights. And the Dark Knights were closely related to the main storyline mission of the apocalyptic world. There was a very limited amount of T-virus serum left in every server of the zombie apocalypse game. This meant that only a very small number of players had access to the core main storyline mission of the zombie apocalypse game. Once all these players died or the Dark Knights were wiped out, then this zombie apocalypse world might never have an ending. And the ending meant that this world belonged to. Originally, and Lindong was very relieved. He felt that with the current zombie density in Hope Town, it was impossible for players to enter the town and take the T-virus serum. By the time the game was released the next day, the superiors had already assigned him 100 professional players trained by the federal government to join the temporary warehouse resource point. At that time, he could use the strength of these people to lock down Hope Town and firmly control the T-virus serum in the town. However, the violent explosion just now made Lindong feel a little uneasy. He decided to wait until his helpers entered tomorrow and then bring them to try to enter Hope Town to check it out. At 3 o'clock in the morning, at Phoenix Sound Gaming Company. Fang Heng woke up in the company's lounge. After resting for 5 to 6 hours, he got up again and entered the game. Alex would wake up after 30 hours when the power was cut off. He needed to think of a way to complete the mission within 30 hours and then leave this damn place completely. This mission is really difficult. Fang Heng returned to the game, and the zombies outside were still scratching the door. Hint: during the time you are offline, your zombie group has completed the search of the first to third floors of the hospital. You have obtained cigarette *2, honey jar *1, fructose *20, disposable syringe *21, medical bandage *10, first aid kit *7, frozen food bag *20, sample collector *12, blood bag *29, underground pipeline maintenance map *1. Hint: during the time you are offline, your zombies destroy the wooden door *23, destroy the wooden stool *541, destroy the wooden table *231, obtain firewood *37816, discarded plastic *17176, rusty nails *21. Hint: during the time you are offline, your zombies complete the production of the wooden planks *4033. Tip: during the time you are offline, your zombie has continuously reinforced the wooden door and consumed the wooden planks *823. The underground pipeline maintenance map. Fang Heng found the map from a pile of materials collected by the zombies and examined it in his hand. There was an underground pipeline in the hospital. In other words, the hospital had other exits besides the front entrance. However, the entrance of the pipeline was on the basement level. Perhaps I can leave the town from that place. Fang Heng whispered and temporarily put away the blueprints. He then shifted his gaze to a small box at the side. In the box lay 12 tubular objects, about the size of a palm. Sample collector. Item: sample collector. Description: Meteorite Company's latest generation of live sample collectors, safe, fast and efficient. Additional description: this sample collector can only collect living organisms. Place the A side of the sample collector on the living organism's surface, press the red button, wait for 30 seconds and it will automatically complete the sample collection. This collector seems to be related to the mission. So, other than directly killing the vine zombies, there are other ways to collect samples. Fang Heng took out a sample collector and held it in his hand to observe. However, it could only collect living organisms. Thinking of the vine zombies with strong close combat ability, Fang Heng couldn't help but feel troubled. He didn't think that he could rush up and control the vine zombies for a full 30 seconds. Unless the vine zombies were still dormant. He wouldn't force it. He would try again later when the opportunity comes. Fang Heng carefully put away the collector and looked at the entrance of the hospital, which was being scratched by the zombies outside. He didn't have time to waste with the endless zombies outside. Fang Heng left 2 zombies to repair the wooden door. Then, he led the rest of the zombies back to the entrance of the buried underground passage. The zombie clones took out their stone pickaxes and dug the passage again. Half an hour later, the buried passage was completely dug out by the zombie clones. Fang Heng raised the focused flamethrower. There were less than 2 bottles of fuel left. Most of the vine zombies had been killed in the afternoon. It was estimated that there were only about 50 vine zombies left in the morgue. It was enough. After entering the basement, the vine zombies gathered in 2s and 3s. Boom. Fang Heng didn't say anything else. He turned on the focused flamethrower and killed them instantly. Then, he killed his way back to the morgue at the end of the passage. Because he was worried about the fire, Fang Heng had no choice but to go back and forth a few times. He led the vine zombies into the empty passage and killed them again. Hint: you have killed the corpse vine infected body *23. You have obtained 680 survival points. You have obtained a sample of the infection *46. Hint: you have obtained a complete evolution crystal *18. You have obtained a tier 1 evolution crystal *2. After a series of operations, the vine zombies in the morgue was completely cleaned up by Fang Heng. Unfortunately, I didn't find a chance to use the sample collector. As Fang Heng spoke, he crushed the complete evolution crystal that he had found along the way. Looking at it carefully, he was less than 1/6 of the experience points away from leveling up. Fang Heng entered the morgue again. He turned on his flashlight and opened the door of the secret research room in the morgue. The path in front of the secret research room was blocked by lush plants. These plants were corpse vines. Fang Heng didn't dare to get too close. If he wasn't careful and get infected by the corpse vines, then it would be troublesome. But wouldn't using a flamethrower in this small room cause a fire? Wait, what is this? Fang Heng was hesitating when he suddenly noticed that there were 2 other experiment manuals on the table. Hint: you have obtained detailed data of Alex's research. Hint: you have obtained detailed data of the corpse vine parasite infection experiment. Hint: you can give the manual to the Apocalypse Merchant Vettel in exchange for additional survival points. Fang Heng first flipped open Alex's research data. The data in the manual were all related to the experimental subject Alex, including the amount of the virus injected, the injection environment and so on. Looking at the rows of data, Fang Heng felt a headache. He roughly knew that Alex's physical strength was very strong, the kind that could break a wall with one punch. Moreover, its life recovery ability was also very strong. The more effective way to deal with Alex was a fire attack, as he was more afraid of fire. Fang Heng picked up another corpse vine parasite experimental data to check. This record book was full of data about the corpse vine parasite infection. A part of it was about how the corpse vine parasites completed their parasitism. It looked very simple. The 5 corpse vines in the secret laboratory were all products that had been modified hundreds of times. They were very easy to parasitize. As long as the zombie was close to the corpse vine would take the initiative to attack and forcefully complete the parasitism. An ordinary corpse needed about 7 days to complete the entire parasitism process. Fang Heng raised his eyebrows. He suddenly had an idea. Originally, the corpse vines parasitized through the corpses, so could the zombies do it? If the zombies could do it, could his zombie clone do it? Fang Heng's heart couldn't help but thump violently. If his zombie clone could be strengthened to the same level as the vine zombies, he would be able to kill mutated zombies. However, Fang Heng lowered his head to think again. He flipped to one of the pages of the experiment team's notebook. 4.5. 1. It's parasitic. We found that the corpse vine had completely invaded the brain of the corpse and digested its host's head within 7 days. After that, the corpse vine took over and controlled the corpse to move. The process was very bloody. The head of the corpse would explode on its own, and a plant-like tentacle would grow out of the neck. 2. We needed more samples for testing. 3. To experiment quietly, the dean agreed to temporarily close the morgue. Fang Heng lowered his head and said in a low voice while thinking, to summarize, the corpse vine controls the corpse through parasitism. In other words, zombies and corpses could be parasitized as well. If his zombie clone was controlled by the corpse vine and turned into a corpse vine parasite, would he lose control of his zombie clone? Who cares? Let's give it a try. It was just a clone, and it could be resurrected after less than 20 hours, so Fang Heng didn't feel bad about it. Fang Heng immediately controlled a zombie to slowly approach the corpse vine. Chi. 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 The corpse vine immediately reacted to the zombie. The originally dangling vine instantly revived and quickly wrapped around the zombie. In the blink of an eye, the zombie clone was tightly wrapped by the vine. The corpse vine went into the zombie's open mouth. Fang Heng frowned. Rows of game notifications were refreshed in the log. Hint: your zombie has been infected by a special parasite. Hint: an abnormality has been detected. Hint: your zombie clone will be infected within 5 to 7 days. Hint, your zombie clone is being enhanced, you will lose control of your zombie clone. Hint, you can quickly complete the parasitism by consuming survival points and evolution crystal fragments. You can also remove the parasitic state and retain the positive enhancement effect. Hint, this enhancement effect will be retained forever, even after death and resurrection. It was done. It really could be done. It was just spending more points. Fang Heng was ecstatic. Consume. Speed up the transformation and remove the parasitic state. Hint, you have spent 3,000 survival points and 100 evolution crystal fragments to quickly complete the parasitic enhancement of the zombie clone. Hint, your zombie clone has removed all the negative states caused by the parasite. Hiss hiss hiss. The vines that were originally surrounding the zombie spread out. The corpse vines lost their desire to attack the evolved zombie clone. After the evolution, the zombie clone did not look much different. However, if one looked carefully, one could still see that there were tiny sprouts faintly appearing under the skin of the zombie clone. Fang Heng immediately opened the zombie attribute to check. Creature, zombie, clone. Level, 9. HP, 1078/1078. Strength, 5.4. Agility, 4.9. Physique, 5.4. Will, 2.5. Perception, 7.5. Intelligence, 2.5. Basic skills. Skill, zombie body. Skill description, activated passively. Not affected by most mental spells, not affected by most diseases and viruses, does not possess mental strength, does not possess mental strength, does not possess energy and has an additional 300% increase in HP. Description, the zombie clone does not possess the ability to infect. Skill, corpse vine armor. Skill description, activated passively. The zombie clone will gain an additional 300% of basic HP, an additional 1% of maximum HP recovery rate per second and an additional 30% damage reduction upon receiving physical damage. Skill, corpse vine entanglement. Skill description, when engaged in close combat, there is a chance to trigger the corpse vine entanglement skill, causing the opponent to enter an entanglement state. Additional description, the successful judgment of entanglement and the judgment of escape are related to the basic attributes of both parties. Additional description, after the judgment of entanglement is successful, the entangled target cannot move and the zombie can absorb the HP of the entangled unit every second. Additional description, the HP absorbed is related to the basic attributes. This effect is ineffective against non-living beings. Awesome. The corpse vine entanglement and the corpse vine armor were undoubtedly extremely effective skills. With the addition of the corpse vine armor and the original zombie skill, Fang Heng's zombie clone now had a 700% increase in basic HP, a 30% reduction in physical damage and a 1% maximum HP recovery every second. An explosive increase in HP. An explosive increase in resistance. With over 1000 HP and a 30% reduction in physical damage, even a shotgun would not be able to kill it. There was also the corpse vine entanglement skill, a powerful weapon for close-range battle. Even the weakness of the corpse vine parasite, the fear of fire, did not appear. It was most likely eliminated by the King of Gods. What a huge gain! Fang Heng's heart was burning with passion. Perhaps the only problem was the process was too expensive. Transforming a zombie clone required 3,000 survival points and 100 evolution crystal fragments. Fang Heng currently had 45 zombies, which meant that he needed a total of 4,500 evolution crystal fragments and 13,500 survival points to complete the transformation. As his level rose, he would get more zombie clones and consume more resources to complete the transformation. But obviously, this money was well spent. This kind of perpetual investment was worth it. Coincidentally, there were so many zombies outside now. At most, he could just spend a little more time to accumulate more points to acquire the crystal fragments. It was after 3 o'clock in the morning, but Fang Heng was exceptionally excited now. He turned 3 more zombie clones into vine zombie clones, using up all the survival points he had gained from killing zombies yesterday. After the transformation of the zombie clones, the corpse vines lost interest in them and dropped them down again. This was another great piece of good news for Fang Heng. In short, complete the mission first. Fang Heng said in a low voice. He handed a sample collector to the vine zombie clone, then controlled the zombie clone to slowly approach the corpse vine. The zombie clone's movements were stiff. It slowly walked forward, raised its hand and pressed the live sample collector tightly on the stem of the corpse vine. Then, it pressed the red button. Hiss. A faint sound was heard. The corpse vine moved. The corpse vine shook a little, then quickly quietened down. A slow-moving channeling bar appeared on top of the zombie clone's head. Hint: your zombie clone has obtained a complete live corpse vine sample *1 through the live sample collector. Half a minute later, the zombie clone put away the sample collector and slowly walked back. Fang Heng held the sample in his hand and looked at it. Hint: you have obtained a live sample of the corpse vine *1. Item: live sample modified corpse vine. Description: a sample with high research value modified corpse vine. There will be people who will be interested in this during the apocalypse. You can submit it as a mission item, or you can trade it with other players or NPCs. Hint: you can submit it to the mission publisher, Vettel, and increase the completion rate of the current side mission 1 obtaining a sample of the corpse vine by 100%. Description: currently, the live sample will only be counted as one completion rate reward. There will be no additional completion rate reward if you submit the sample multiple times. Fang Heng immediately understood when he saw the mission description. He could only obtain a reward once by using the sample collector to obtain the sample, which was to increase the completion rate of the side mission by 100%. In theory, the side mission could achieve a completion rate of more than 100%. If he wanted to do that, he could only kill monsters to get samples. Before this, he was able to kill the corpse vine-infected bodies he encountered. Fang Heng couldn't bear to kill these modified corpse vines. Fang Heng controlled a few vine zombie clones to move the giant flower pot with the corpse vines to a corner of the laboratory. These corpse vines were still useful. As his level increased, Fang Heng would get more zombies. At that time, he would need to modified corpse vines to help increase the strength of his zombie clones. After removing the flower bed of the corpse vines, the pathway in front of the laboratory was cleared. Fang Heng walked forward carefully. In the deepest part of the laboratory lay a big box. The lid of the box was made of thick glass. At first glance, it looked like a coffin. There were many wires attached to the coffin, which was connected to the main control computer at the side. However, the power to the computer had been cut off and it was currently turned off. Fang Heng took a few steps forward and immediately stopped. He had felt a strong sense of uneasiness from the first time he stepped into the morgue outside. The uneasiness came from this coffin. Fang Heng stuck his head out and looked into the distance. Inside the coffin lay a strongman who was nearly 2 meters tall. His face was pale and his skin had a strange greenish-gray color. At first glance, he looked as if he was asleep. Other than his greenish-gray skin and his extremely strong body, he was no different from an ordinary person. He was the sleeping experimental subject, Alex. Fang Heng instinctively didn't want to get too close to Alex. He controlled the 6 zombie clones to walk to the coffin and lift the thick glass lid together. Crack! The glass lid was extremely heavy and when only one corner was lifted, a white mist that could be seen by the naked eye immediately escaped from the gap. The cold air is leaking out so quickly. Fang Heng frowned and murmured. He continued to control the zombie clone and pressed the live sample collector on Alex's arm. Chi! A faint sound was heard. The needle of the live sample collector pierced through Alex's skin. Alex seemed to not react at all. Fang Heng didn't dare to be negligent. He stared at the progress bar that was slowly moving above the head of the zombie clone. Hint: your zombie clone has obtained a complete live corpse vine sample *1 through the live sample collector. Done. After collecting the sample, Fang Heng immediately controlled the zombie clone to cover the coffin. The zombie clone slowly walked back and handed the collected sample to Fang Heng. Hint: you have obtained the sample of the experimental subject Alex *1. Hint: you can submit it to the mission publisher, Vettel, to increase the completion rate of the current side mission 3 obtaining the sample of the experimental subject Alex by 100%. Description: currently, the live sample is only counted as one completion rate reward. No additional completion rate reward will be obtained by submitting the sample multiple times. Phew! After getting the sample, Fang Heng wiped the sweat off his forehead. He had to be careful. After all, Alex was a Tier 3 or Tier 4 mutated zombie. If he suddenly woke up, the consequences would be unimaginable. I've better get out of here. The longer he stayed here, the more uneasy Fang Heng felt. He turned around and walked toward the door, picking up the sample to check. Item: experimental subject Alex's live sample. Description: a sample of high value. Trust me, the researchers will go crazy over it. Even in the apocalypse, it will definitely sell for a very high price. You can submit it as a mission item, or you can trade it with other players or NPCs. Fang Heng, who was about to escape from the place, stopped when he saw the notification. A live sample could only be submitted once for the mission, but it didn't mean that the sample couldn't be collected multiple times. Similarly, it could also be used outside of the mission. Moreover, the item description indicated that Alex's live sample was very precious and of high value. Coincidentally, Fang Heng had always required money. Especially now, he needed a large number of survival points to evolve his zombie clones. Also, the moment he saw the item description, Fang Heng immediately thought of Qiu Yaokong. That cold researcher whose mind was filled with experiments. If he gave him a living sample of Alex, would he be able to exchange it for a better attribute enhancement potion? Fang Heng felt tempted. He turned around and once again focused his gaze on Alex's dormant coffin. He was already here, so it wouldn't be too much to collect a few more samples, would it? Even though it was very dangerous, Alex could wake up at any time. Greed. When he could be greedy, he had to be greedy to death. Fang Heng gritted his teeth. Greed. He kept the farthest distance from the coffin and once again controlled the zombie clones to walk forward and open the coffin. The little cold air that was left leaked out once again. Chi. The sample collector was injected into Alex's arm again, piercing through his skin. A slow-moving reading bar appeared above the zombie clones' heads. Hint: you have obtained a sample of the experimental subject Alex *1. Hint: you have obtained a sample of the experimental subject Alex *1. Hint: you have obtained a sample. After collecting 5 more samples, Alex's originally green-gray arm had already revealed a grayish-white color. While he was collecting the 7th sample, Fang Heng suddenly noticed that Alex's finger twitched slightly while he was still sleeping. D*MN it. His greed had led to big trouble. Fang Heng felt a chill on his back. Bang. He hurriedly controlled the zombie clones to stop the collection and cover the coffin lid. Fang Heng held his breath and looked at Alex in the coffin nervously. Fortunately, Alex did not display major changes. He just remained silent after twitching his finger just now. Fang Heng didn't dare to risk his life anymore. He quickly controlled the zombie clones to leave the secret research room together. In theory, the specially made coffin box could still be frozen for 30 hours after the power was cut off. However, when the zombies were collecting the samples just now, too much cold air had leaked out. In addition, the continuous collection of samples must have triggered Alex. Fang Heng felt that this coffin would definitely not last for 30 hours. Alex could wake up at any time. It was too dangerous to stay in the hospital. He had to leave the hospital as soon as possible. Oh right, don't forget about the corpse vines. The corpse vines in the secret research room had been modified after hundreds of studies. They were extremely suitable for parasites. In order to facilitate the evolution and modification of the zombie clones in the future, the corpse vines had to be taken away as well. The corpse vines couldn't be put into the backpack, so they could only be carried away in the flower pots by the evolved vine zombie clones. Outside the morgue, Fang Heng lowered his head and thought. In this way, it was very inconvenient to carry the corpse vines and the flower pots. It was definitely not possible to leave through the front entrance of the hospital. Firstly, there are too many zombies outside, so there's not enough time to clean them up. Secondly, when the zombies swarm over, if the corpse vine is stimulated and starts to parasitize the zombies, it'll be troublesome. Fang Heng lowered his head and pondered again. I got it. The sewer. Fang Heng had an idea. He took out the map of the sewer from his backpack and checked it. The map only displayed the part of the sewer of the hospital. There were 2 entrances to the sewer of the hospital, both in the parking lot on the basement level. I'll go there and check the situation first. Fang Heng turned back to the parking lot on the basement level. The parking lot had been cleaned once before and it remained quiet. The iron door that Fang Heng had manually put down was very strong and had not been scratched by the zombies outside. Fang Heng followed the instructions on the blueprint and quickly found the manhole cover in the corner of the parking lot. As the manhole cover was locked from the inside, Fang Heng could only take out a stone hammer and forcefully knock it open. Bang. Hint: you deal damage to the manhole cover plus 29. The manhole cover only had 10,000 HP, so it would be open very soon. A group of zombie clones took out small stone hammers and slammed them at the manhole cover. Bang. Bang bang. Bang bang. In less than 10 minutes, the manhole cover was broken. Fang Heng held a flashlight and shone it down. My God. So many. Fang Heng was shocked. At first glance, he saw a circle of zombies' heads in the sewer. They noticed the light of the flashlight and immediately became excited and kept howling. These zombies were also attracted by the explosion in the hospital earlier on. Fang Heng carefully scanned the interior of the sewer with his flashlight. The inside of the sewer was very wide, about 10 meters long. In the middle of the sewer was a 3-meter-long dirty sewer. There were at least 700 to 800 zombies in the entire sewer. Fang Heng didn't sense any mutated zombies among them. It's not a big problem. Fang Heng muttered to himself. He soon had a plan. He only needed to clean them all up and then escape from the hospital through the sewer. Fang Heng controlled the zombie clones to raise their spears and jump into the sewers one by one, starting to clear out the zombies. Hint: your zombie clone has killed an ordinary zombie. You have obtained survival points *2. Hint: your zombie clone has killed an ordinary zombie. You have obtained survival points *2. You have obtained evolution crystal fragment *1. Hint: your zombie clone has killed an ordinary zombie. You have obtained survival points *2. Hint: your zombie clone has killed an ordinary zombie. The game log began to refresh crazily again. While the zombie clones were cleaning up the sewer, Fang Heng led the 4 evolved vine zombies back to the secret research room to move the corpse vines. They ran back and forth 5 times. Fang Heng finally moved all the large flower pots used to grow corpse vines to the corner of the underground parking lot. There are a total of 10 corpse vines. It's a bit troublesome to bring them all back to prison. Looking at these corpse vines, Fang Heng felt troubled. It was a long journey back to the prison from here and the flower pots were unusually heavy. His modified motorcycle would probably need to make 3 or 4 trips before all of the flower pots could be transported back to the prison. Forget it, I'll think of a solution when the time comes. After busying himself for half a day, Fang Heng was a little tired. Under such a dangerous situation, he did not dare to go offline, so he simply got a simple bed and dozed off on the spot. After sleeping for 2 hours, Fang Heng woke up again and stretched. The group of zombies gathered under the sewer had been completely cleaned up. Hint: when you were hacking, your zombie clones killed 1502 zombies. You received 3090 survival points. You received evolution crystal fragment *267. Hint: you received recipe noodles with scallion oil, recipe scallion pancakes. Hee hee, more recipes. Hint: you learned recipe noodles with scallion oil and recipe scallion pancakes. Your cooking skill experience points plus 12. Fang Heng was already used to it. He patted the 2 recipes on his head and climbed down the ladder into the sewer. It stinks. When he landed on the ground, Fang Heng immediately smelled an unspeakable stench. He covered his mouth and nose and carefully observed the internal environment of the sewer. There was a tunnel on the left and right sides of the sewer respectively. The light from the flashlight shone on them, but they were pitch black and endless. Because the sewer map only marked the entrance of the hospital, Fang Heng didn't know which direction to go. It doesn't matter. Better to leave the hospital first. Fang Heng randomly chose a direction and followed the zombies to clean up the zombies along the way. Fang Heng endured the stench and walked forward for 3 minutes. Then, he heard a few splashes from the left side. He raised his flashlight and shone it on a zombie that was lying at the bottom of the sewer. It was bloated and had dark brown bumps all over its body. Its entire body was emitting a foul smell. Fang Heng raised his eyebrows and quickly took a few steps back. Tier 1 Mutated Zombie Pus Zombie. The Pus Zombie was one of Tier 1 mutated zombies that were very difficult to deal with in the early stages of the game. The Pus Zombie's bloated body was filled with highly corrosive and highly infectious pus. Once it died, there was a high chance that its body would explode and the pus would splatter everywhere. If players were accidentally infected by the pus, other than their skin and muscles being corroded, there was also a high chance that they would enter the zombie virus infection state. Other than that, the Pus Zombie's attributes were all stronger than ordinary zombies. Due to the Pus Zombie's huge body, its weakness was that its movement speed was relatively slow. Fang Heng touched the shotgun in his backpack and prepared to shoot the Pus Zombie in the head from a distance. He thought for a moment and put the shotgun back. "Hold on, I can try out the evolved Vine Zombie's abilities." Fang Heng gave the order to the 4 Vine Zombies behind him to attack. The Vine Zombies weren't moving fast either, so they walked up unsteadily. The Vine Zombies at the front raised their spears and stabbed forward. Chi. The spear happened to pierce a tumor on the Pus Zombie's body. The tumor exploded with a pu sound. The corrosive pus splashed on the Vine Zombie's body, making a chemical burning sound like chi-chi. White smoke rose. The highly corrosive pus corroded the Vine Zombie's body, leaving black holes on it. The Vine Zombie's movements were not affected. It continued to raise its spear and thrust forward. Fang Heng raised his eyebrows. Corrosive damage was not considered physical damage. It could not be reduced by the Vine Armor's skills. However, its damage was insubstantial against the Vine Zombie's high HP. Moreover, it had a maximum recovery rate of 1% of its HP per second. This little damage was nothing. After receiving a few attacks, the Pus Zombie began to approach and counterattack. It raised its right hand and was about to swing out. Chi. 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 A few vines suddenly shot out from the shoulder of the Vine Zombie. The vines quickly wrapped around the arms of the Pus Zombie. More and more vines grew out of the zombie's body and entangled the Pus Zombie. Fine barbs appeared on the vines and pierced into the skin of the Pus Zombie. Dark red blood was drawn out along the vines and absorbed into the body of the Vine Zombie. Amazing. It's absorbing nutrients. Fang Heng noticed that the Vine Zombie's HP was recovering rapidly. New vine branches quickly grew out of the black holes that had been corroded before, filling the holes. Ugh. A moment later, the Pus Zombie that had been drained dry let out a wail and fell to the ground, completely dead. Hint: your zombie clone has killed the Pus Zombie. You have gained 11 survival points. Okay. Fang Heng clenched his fists. The evolved Vine Zombie clone fought a Tier 1 mutant zombie one-on-one. It won. It was worth the 3,000 points spent. This battle gave Fang Heng a clearer understanding of the abilities of the Vine Zombie. Based on the combat ability of the Vine Zombies, they wouldn't be at a disadvantage against the other Tier 1 mutated zombies. Not to mention when he had a large group of zombie clones to carry out the attack. With that, the safety of the hack could be greatly improved. Fang Heng was extremely satisfied with the combat ability of the Vine Zombies. Just as he was about to continue walking forward, 2 warnings popped up in the game log. Warning: you are in an extremely harsh environment. Due to the influence of the stench, as you stay in the sewer for a longer period, your HP will continue to decrease, and the rate of decrease will gradually increase. Warning: you are in an extremely harsh environment. If you stay in the environment for a long period, there is a chance that you will enter an infected state. There is such a negative effect. Fang Heng frowned again. Walking on the ground was extremely troublesome, but walking in the sewer was also dangerous. After thinking for a while, Fang Heng decided to control the 2 evolved Vine Zombies and the rest of the ordinary zombie clones to continue to explore and clean up the zombies they encountered along the way. On the other hand, he brought the other 2 Vine Zombies back the way they came. Fang Heng climbed out of the hospital sewer again. Later, he would leave the hospital through the sewer. At that time, he would also take the corpse vines that he left in the parking lot with him. He didn't want them to be damaged by Alex when he woke up. Fang Heng opened the construction page. Found it, a wooden crane. Fang Heng spent a lot of time building a crane to carry heavy objects up and down. Since he couldn't get close to the corpse vines, he could only stand in the distance and command the 2 Vine Zombies to carry and move them. It took him nearly 2 hours to carry the 10 heavy corpse vines into the sewer. When he was done, Fang Heng entered the sewer again. He used the newly made wooden manhole cover to seal the entrance, leaving the 2 vine zombies to guard the corpse vines. Fang Heng then covered his mouth and nose and sped down the tunnel. Hint: your HP is dropping. Please leave the sewer as soon as possible. Hint: you are at risk of being infected. After running in the sewer for 10 minutes, Fang Heng could not hold on any longer. His HP started to drop faster. He saw a ladder going up on the right-hand side of the sewer, so he held his breath and quickly climbed up the ladder. Fang Heng held his breath, opened the manhole cover on his head and quickly climbed out of the sewer. Phew! Fresh air. Fang Heng had never thought that breathing in the air to his heart's content could be so wonderful. Fortunately, the manhole cover was not locked. Fang Heng was glad that he had used his zombie clones to clean up the zombies in the underground passage in advance. Otherwise, he would have to escape and deal with zombies at the same time, so his speed would be abnormally slow. If it were other players, they would have been suffocated to death in the underground sewer. In the outside world, the sky was already bright. Fang Heng noticed that the place he was in was still within Hope Town. It was the backyard of an independent villa. The 5 zombies in the backyard noticed Fang Heng and immediately rushed toward him. Fang Heng rubbed his shoulder and took out his machete. When he first entered the game, Fang Heng relied on the muscle memory of this body to fight. After fighting for a while, Fang Heng had gradually integrated the various battle memories of this body and the changes in his body's attributes. Now, with Fang Heng's high agility and high perception, the zombies moved like old turtles in his eyes. They were too slow. Fang Heng raised his machete and rushed forward. Chi! 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 In the blink of an eye, the 5 ordinary zombies were all slaughtered. They couldn't take the beating. Fang Heng put away his machete and looked around. It was a 3-story villa. Not bad. The villa can be used as a base. Fang Heng rubbed his chin and muttered to himself. Ever since he entered Hope Town, things had changed a lot. Fang Heng didn't want to leave the town so soon. As one can see, Hope Town was a place where people can scavenge for materials and also hunt zombies for materials. Why was he in a hurry to go back to prison when there was such an outstanding place like Hope Town? Fang Heng decided to stay here for a while to look around. For the time being, he would use this villa as his base. With his safety guaranteed, he could collect more points and evolution crystal fragments. He would also complete the evolution of all the zombie clones as soon as possible. After making up his mind, Fang Heng controlled the zombie clones that were exploring the underground sewers to return the way they came, climbing back to the surface along the ladder. Before nightfall, I need to build a place for tonight as soon as possible. Fang Heng muttered to himself and divided the zombie clones into 3 groups. The first group entered the 3-story villa to explore and was responsible for collecting materials and cleaning up the zombies. The second group surrounded the villa to clean up the zombies. To prevent the possibility of encountering mutated zombies, the 2 groups each had a vine zombie with them. The last 2 vine zombies were responsible for transporting the corpse vines that were left in the underground sewer. As Fang Heng looked at the scattered zombie clones leaving to perform their tasks, he silently took out wooden planks from his backpack and started to repair the fence of the villa. At noon, a team of more than 30 players appeared in Hope Town. The team was personally led by the leader of Federation No. 19 Resource Point, and Lindong. Earlier today, the game officially opened the transfer server. Level 1 to 4 players could use their King of Gods points to join the zombie apocalypse in District 8. Within half an hour after the transfer server opened, the 100 ordinary players who had newly joined Federation No. 19 Resource Point had all arrived. Every year, the various countries of the Federation would invest a large amount of money into the game. In China, the players that the Federation recruited were divided into 2 types. The first type was the core members. The Federation had been focusing on training players since they were in school. They have undergone systematic training in the school, and after various background checks and assessments by the Federation school, they are recruited to ensure their loyalty as much as possible. The other type was the ordinary players. They accepted the Federation's call to sign a contract to accept the Federation's employment. This kind of contract is more stringent than the ordinary work contract. If there was an act of betrayal, the player will be subjected to harsh legal sanctions, equivalent to treason. Due to the favorable and generous treatment, the entry threshold for becoming an ordinary player in the Federation was gradually increasing every year. However, in reality, there were many people who were unwilling to accept the multiple restrictions and background checks of the Federation. Joining the Federation meant losing a large portion of their freedom. This time, when Lindong entered Hope Town, he wanted to find out the cause of the explosion yesterday. Soon, the team noticed a large number of zombies surrounding the community hospital. Lindong, we can't go any closer. There are too many zombies there. Lindong nodded. He signaled the team to stop and used the binoculars to observe. A player on alert noticed something. He stared at the street in the distance and whispered, "Captain, look, what's that?" "What? What kind of zombie is that? Is it a high-tier zombie? Why does it look so weird?" Many players also noticed something in the distance. They whispered among themselves and pointed into the distance. It was a zombie that was about 2.2 to 3 meters tall. Green vines were constantly wriggling around his body. Lindong frowned. Oh no, it was a special mutated zombie evolved from the corpse vines. A Tier 4 mutated zombie. Lindong had already memorized the information provided by the Federation. He quickly compared the zombie in front of him with the corpse vine mutated variant in his memory. He had escaped from the secret research room of Meteorite Company. But why was he so fast? Theoretically, such a high-level zombie creature wouldn't appear in the game for at least a month. "Captain, he seems to be coming toward us. What should we do? He seems to be heading toward our warehouse." Lindong couldn't help but clenched his fists. Most high-level mutated zombies would attack the places where the players gathered. The warehouse resource point had become the target of the zombie mutated variant. Team 2, go back first and report to Director Liu. Team 1, come with me, we need to think of a way to lure it away. Hint, your zombie group has completed the transportation of flower pots *10. Hint, your zombie group has completed the exploration of the villa. You have obtained a total of ceramic bowls *9, cutlery *2, canned fruits *5, canned beef *7, mineral water *8, red bowl *3, nails *12, wooden planks *2, firewood *21, children's bicycle *1, non-fat butter *1, toy binoculars, cumin seasoning packets *2. Hint, your zombie group has killed an ordinary zombie *512, obtained 992 survival points, evolution crystal fragment *77. Afternoon, 4 p.m. The villa had already been cleaned up. Fang Heng counted the materials he had found and couldn't help but shake his head. Other than the necessary survival materials, the rest were just trash with little value. Of course, they were considered trash to Fang Heng. This trash could be exchanged for a lot of money with the Federation. Especially the children's bicycle. No matter what, the bicycle was still a means of transportation, even though its speed was extremely slow. Fang Heng had just managed to control his zombie clone to move the corpse vines into the backyard of the villa with great difficulty. At this moment, he was sitting on the second floor of the villa to rest. Fang Heng felt a little hungry. He lit a bonfire, cleaned up the grill and prepared to barbecue. Boom. An explosion outside the window attracted Fang Heng. What's the situation? Fang Heng put down the grilled meat in his hands and walked quickly to the window. He took out the children's binoculars and looked in the direction of the explosion. What the heck? It was Alex. He had awakened. Fang Heng saw Alex at the corner of the street not far away. The awakened Alex gave people a strong sense of oppression. His body was covered with a layer of wriggling corpse vine armor. Fortunately, I escaped ahead of time. Boom. There was another loud sound. Fang Heng's eyelids could not help but twitch. Alex's left shoulder was hit by the rocket launcher. His body was hit hard and he crashed into the wall behind him. Bang. There were spider cracks on the wall as a result of the impact made by Alex's strong back. Alex's left shoulder was blasted by the rocket launcher, leaving a huge wound. Dense brown branches were exposed from the wound. Fang Heng moved his binoculars to another location and shouted, "What the F***? CK. RPG, 38. Shoulder-mounted rocket launcher. Awesome. Was this the big boss of the Federation?" Fang Heng was secretly speechless. At this stage of the game, only the Federation would be able to take out such a high-strength weapon that far surpassed the current version, regardless of the cost. The RPG-38 shoulder-mounted rocket launcher was obtained through the exchange of King of Gods points. King of Gods points were extremely rare, and even the Federation had extremely strict restrictions every month, making it difficult for them to provide large amounts of them. TSK, the Federation is starting to play with their lives. Fang Heng held his binoculars as he observed, sighing in admiration in a low voice, as though he was a spectator. However, Alex isn't a pushover either. The 2 rocket launchers only caused him to be slightly injured, but he does look a little miserable appearance-wise. He has been angered, just wait and see. What is that? While Alex was being attacked and on the ground, a player dashed out from the Federation crowd. He held a large tranquilizer gun in his hand and quickly rushed toward Alex. Chi. More than 10 needles pierced into Alex's body. Alex, who was lying on the ground and was about to get up, swayed and then fell to the ground with a plop. Tranquilizer gun. Will that thing be useful against zombies? No. Fang Heng quickly realized that the Federation players had most likely used special drugs to temporarily control Alex. They're quite ambitious. They want to capture him alive. Fang Heng continued to observe with his binoculars. But it's not that simple, right? Attracted by the explosion of the rocket launcher, the zombies in the town swarmed toward the Federation players. There were even many mutated zombies among them. Seeing this, the Federation players immediately abandoned Alex, who had fallen into a coma, and began to retreat in an orderly manner. What the hell, they are going to run away just like that. In the blink of an eye, the Federation players disappeared from Fang Heng's sight. What is this operation about? This operation had completely stunned Fang Heng. They had been so aggressive just a moment ago, how could they run away all of a sudden? Fang Heng knew that Alex had a powerful self-healing ability. It seemed that his injuries were serious now, but he would be able to fully recover in less than half an hour. He seemed to be unconscious. Shall I go over and finish it off? Fang Heng suddenly felt a surge of greed. Greed my **s. Fang Heng patted his forehead. What was he thinking? What right did he have to finish that creature off now? What if he suddenly woke up? Wouldn't it be good to live a peaceful life? Fang Heng felt that the Federation had escaped so quickly earlier on, so it could be a trap. He put down the binoculars and turned back to continue grilling the meat. Before going offline, Fang Heng divided the zombie team into 2 groups. One group continued to clean the sewers while the other group started to hack around the periphery of the villa to clear the zombies and earn points. I have to hack in the opposite direction from Alex to avoid being affected. After a tiring day, Fang Heng felt a strong sense of sleepiness after filling his stomach. He went offline early to rest. In the Phoenix Sound Gaming Company. Fang Heng climbed out of the gaming cabin. He was wondering if he should go to the villa dormitory tonight or just make do in the lounge. Coincidentally, the internal meeting of Team 3 had just ended. The employees walked out of the meeting room one after another. The Federation is really rich. It's a big deal. Haha, it's a big deal, but no one dares to take this job even if they are rich. Can you do it? Don't be ridiculous. After all, it's a Tier 4 zombie. Who can do that? The resource point in Hope Town is going to be in big trouble. Do you have a friend there? Tell him to run. Fang Heng stopped in his tracks when he heard what the others said. Did they seem to be talking about Hope Town? Fang Heng walked over and tried to stop 1 or 2 people to ask around. Shenqing, who was in the meeting room, saw Fang Heng passing by and walked to the door. He stuck his head out of the meeting room and reached out his hand to him. Fang Heng. You're here, just nice. Come in and have a chat. Fang Heng walked into the meeting room. He noticed that there were several documents spread out on the table in front of Shenqing. One of the pictures was of Alex. Shenqing beckoned Fang Heng to sit down. Come, sit down and talk. Fang Heng sat opposite Shenqing. What were you discussing just now? It's about the mission in Hope Town. Can I know? Shenqing was surprised for a moment, before smiling. What are you talking about? It's not a secret. Not long ago, the Federation issued an emergency cooperation notice. The general content is that a powerful Tier 4 mutated zombie has appeared in Hope Town. Fang Heng raised an eyebrow. That's right, it was done by me, he thought. It is estimated that the Tier 4 mutated zombie will cause great damage to the temporary Federation warehouse resource point. Not long ago, the Federation had severely injured the mutated zombie and injected an antivirus agent into his body, causing him to temporarily fall into a coma. This kind of coma is extremely unstable. When the mutated zombie is stimulated by the outside world, he will immediately wake up. Other than that, the Federation believes that Alex has a powerful self-healing ability. It is expected that he will fully recover and wake up at noon tomorrow. Fang Heng thought to himself that they did not know Alex well enough. He was only slightly injured and had been knocked unconscious by the rocket launchers before he was ambushed by the Federation. Furthermore, with Alex's self-healing ability, he had long recovered to his peak condition. Currently, the Federation has already sent out invitations to various gaming companies to recruit players who can deal with a Tier 4 mutated zombie. If we can eliminate Alex, the Federation can provide us with generous rewards. Hearing the word reward, Fang Heng's interest was piqued. He almost blurted out, asking, what kind of reward? 500 King of Gods points. Also, the Federation claims that the mutated zombie will enter hibernation after being exposed to low temperatures. If there is a way to bring him out of the town and hand him over to the Federation, they will pay an additional 500 King of Gods points. A total of 500 King of Gods points. Handing them the subject alive was a total of 1,000 points as a reward. The Federation was truly affluent. Fang Heng almost stopped breathing. I remember that there is a limit to the trading of the King of Gods points, right? The monthly trading limit is 20 times the current player's level. Shen Qing hesitated again. There is indeed such a limit, but we can let the Federation use the King of Gods points to exchange for the physical materials in the game, and then trade the physical materials to us in the game. Fang Heng nodded. Indeed, this was also a way to bypass the game's settings. So, is our company going to give up? That's not true. President Qin hopes that we can complete the mission. After all, this is a good opportunity for us to connect with the Federation and deepen our cooperation. President Qin promised that as long as we can complete the mission, the company will not draw any commission from the reward given by the Federation. The task team will be able to distribute the reward among themselves. At the end of the month, there will be additional company bonuses and performance bonuses. Fang Heng's eyes lit up. Could he still be greedy this time around? It's too difficult. Our team has analyzed it internally. The Tier 4 zombie is too strong. It's impossible to complete the mission. Shen Qing sighed and explained, it's not just us. No team in the game can do it now. It's mainly a matter of time. The tranquilizer used by the Federation only has an effective period of about 18 hours. Theoretically, the mutated zombie will wake up by noon tomorrow. Right now, the players in the game haven't even reached level 5, so their abilities aren't even equally matched. Large-scale player teams don't have the time to travel to Hope Town. Fang Heng rubbed his chin, thinking about how he should take advantage of this opportunity. He didn't consider capturing Alex at all. Fang Heng still had research reports about Alex in his backpack. After Alex was placed into a low-temperature environment, it would take 30 minutes for him to gradually enter a dormant state. In other words, even if he were to find an extremely rare refrigeration machine, it would take a full 30 minutes for Alex to enter a dormant state. It would be strange if he wasn't beaten to death by Alex after such a long time. But if he were to directly kill Alex? Was this impossible? 500 King of Gods points were too tempting. If he could kill Alex, then what would he get? First, the reward of 500 King of Gods points from the Federation. Wasn't he troubled about moving the flower pots with the corpse vines? 500 King of Gods points could be used to exchange for a large truck. There was even some surplus left. The large truck would be very useful when he returned to prison. After all, the zombie clones could help him collect a large number of materials. When that time came, whether it was moving ores or materials to exchange for points, it would be very useful. Secondly, aside from the main mission of collecting the T-virus serum, there was also side mission 3, which was to collect Alex's samples. Currently, he had already achieved 100% of the mission completion rate. If he could kill Alex, the mission completion rate could be further increased. The rewards will accumulate again. Yes. There was still a third point. The Advanced Evolution Crystal and First Kill reward. Fang Heng was fully aware that Alex was the first Tier 4 mutated zombie to appear in District 8. As long as he was killed, there was a 100% chance that the Advanced Evolution Crystal would drop. And the First Kill reward. Fang Heng had heard from a player in his memory that players who had the first kill of Tier 3 or above zombies would receive the system reward. If it was a Tier 4 zombie, it would at least be a B-level skill book reward. It was too tempting. Fang Heng thought about it carefully. It seemed that he could be greedy this time. A plan was quickly constructed and perfected in Fang Heng's mind. He felt that it was possible. The success rate was about 70%. If he could find a reliable helper, the success rate could continue to increase. Shenqing looked at Fang Heng, who was deep in thought. You seem to be very interested in this mission. Huh. Fang Heng realized that he was lost in thought and smiled embarrassedly. I'm thinking about something. Sorry, what did you say just now? Hey, it's nothing. Oh right, President Qin came back yesterday. When she looked for you earlier, you were still in the game. Did she say anything? Yeah, from what she said, she seems to want you to build a gaming department, Task Team 12, by yourself. Shenqing scratched his head. He felt that this was very strange. He was stunned when he heard President Qin mention it. To let a newbie take charge of a newly established task team. What kind of trust was this? The back door was a little too wide. But on second thought, it didn't seem right. There hadn't been any personnel changes recently, and President Qin didn't even send a single person to this newly established department. When that time came, there would only be 5 newbie players, who had just joined the company, in Team 12. What was the difference between this and a single commander? President Qin said that you can also choose a few people to bring to Team 12, but you need to obtain their consent. Fang Heng was also dumbfounded when he heard that. Promoted? Did he become the leader of the team all of a sudden? Xiaoxi had such a big reputation. Or was Jimmy a hidden big shot client? Was it all for Jimmy's sake? Wait, did he get a raise? Fang Heng looked up and asked, Is President Qin here? Her flight this afternoon should have landed by now. You can try calling her. I'll give you her cell phone number. Shenqing took out his cell phone as he spoke. Also, the office on the 5th floor for Team 12 has been cleared out this morning. You can move there anytime. Okay. Fang Heng shrugged and took down Qin Shuren's cell phone number. Thank you. Oh right, wait a moment. Shenqing gestured for Fang Heng to wait a little longer and then made a landline call. Soon, Pei Anan, the cute intern he had encountered not long ago, walked in. Team leader, you are looking for me. Come, let me introduce you. This is Fang Heng, the team leader of Team 12. This is Pei Anan, an intern from our department. She has been here for a month. She is already very familiar with the company's environment. President Qin has appointed her as your temporary assistant. Shenqing introduced her enthusiastically. Haha, this young lady is very serious in her work. She has helped me a lot during this period. To be honest, if President Qin hadn't asked, I wouldn't have been willing to let her go. Fang Heng nodded and greeted Pei Anan. Hello, we've met before. Hello, team leader Fang Heng. Pei Anan greeted him obediently. She looked at Fang Heng curiously. A few days ago, when they met in the lounge, he had claimed to be an intern. So he was the new team leader. Tomorrow, the 5 new people assigned to you will report at 9 o'clock. Pei Anan has the details of the personnel list. That's about it. If you have any other questions, you can directly consult President Qin. Shenqing turned to look at Pei Anan. Pei Anan, bring him to Team 12's office first. Thank you, Brother Shen, for your help during this time. Hi, this is nothing. Come to our Team 3 often in the future. Shenqing stood up and sent Fang Heng out of the office. Fang Heng still felt that something was strange about being sent into the elevator all the time. Did President Qin's trust in him come from Xiaoxi? But to directly let him manage a team? he didn't know how to do that at all. In a few days, he would think of a way to resign. Ever since he had made great progress in the game, Fang Heng didn't care about this job at all. After all, in the game, he could easily sell some materials to the Federation and earn a large sum of money. In reality, he was doing very well. He could leave at any time. Fang Heng continued to stay in the company for 2 reasons. The first reason was that he didn't feel any pressure at all staying here. His life was very comfortable. The other reason was because of Xia Shi. In this unfamiliar world, Fang Heng was very grateful to Xia Shi. Of course, there was another very important point. Phoenix Sound Gaming Company's S-level talent enhancement plan. Seeing that he was about to level up to level 10 in the game, Fang Heng's need for the talent enhancement plan became more and more urgent. He needed to think of a way to get it as soon as possible. Stop thinking about it. There were more important things to deal with right now. Fang Heng lowered his head as he pondered. His brain was rapidly perfecting the plan to kill Alex. Alex's life recovery ability was extremely strong. His biggest weakness was fire. The best way to kill Alex was to continuously attack it with fire. Burn him to death. Fang Heng narrowed his eyes slightly. Fire. To complete the plan, a large amount of combustible material was needed. Gasoline. And explosives. He had already used up all the explosives, but there was still 1 barrel of gasoline left. However, 1 barrel of gasoline was far from enough. If he were to go to the Apocalypse merchant to buy it now, there would be insufficient time. Currently, the only way to quickly obtain equipment and materials was to purchase them from the Federation. However, under normal circumstances, the Federation's materials would not be sold to the public, right? Furthermore, he didn't have enough points on him right now. However, since it was a mission issued by the Federation, could he borrow some from the Federation in advance? Team Leader Fang, we're here. Pei Anan opened the door of Team 12's office and switched on the lights. The light illuminated the entire large office. The office environment of each team in Phoenix Sound Gaming Company was similar. There were rows of cubicle work areas and rows of gaming cabins placed against the wall. As there was no one around, the office looked exceptionally empty. Fang Heng raised his head. Pei Anan. You know about the mission regarding the Federation's Tier 4 zombie today, right? Yes, I do. I prepared the materials for the meeting just now. That's great. Fang Heng asked, do you know the process of accepting a mission from the Federation in the name of the company? Ah. Pei Anan opened her mouth and said in surprise, Team Leader Fang, you want to accept this mission? Fang Heng nodded his head vigorously. Yes. But. Pei Anan looked at Fang Heng. She felt that this handsome team leader was probably not awake yet. But Team Leader Fang, our Team 12 currently has no one other than you. That's fine. I can do it alone. Fang Heng rubbed his chin. But time is too tight right now. I need to borrow some equipment from the Federation. If I borrow it from the Federation in the name of the company, will the Federation give it to me? This. Pei Anan thought for a moment and gave an affirmative response. Yes, it's possible. The time for this mission is tight, so the Federation will be more lenient in this aspect. However, if this concerns the company, you will need to go through the approval of the leaders. Is the approval procedure very troublesome? Yes, it's quite troublesome. Under normal circumstances, if everything goes smoothly, it will take at least a day. A day. Alex could use this time to tear down the Federation warehouse. Forget it then. Fang Heng felt that it was troublesome, so he directly dialed President Qin's number. Beep beep beep. Hello, is this President Qin? I'm Fang Heng. I'm Qin Shuren. I'm very interested in the mission in Hope Town. Qin Shuren had just gotten off the plane and checked into the hotel. She had just put on a face mask. At first, she thought that Fang Heng was asking about him being deployed as team leader, but when she heard the introduction, she could not help but be surprised. You want to accept this mission? Yes, that's right. Coincidentally, I'm in Hope Town right now. In order to complete the mission, I want to advance some weapons and equipment. Have you thought about it? The company's internal evaluation deemed this mission as impossible to complete. Yes, I have a way. Qin Shuren lay on the sofa and thought for a moment before asking, how many weapons and equipment do you need? About 10 barrels of gasoline, 10 small explosive packs. How confident are you? Fang Heng looked at Pei Anan and answered confidently, very confident. On the other end of the phone, Qin Shuren hesitated for a moment. I'll contact them. In an hour, you'll go directly to the Federation warehouse resource point to look for the person in charge of the warehouse. They will try their best to satisfy your needs within a certain range. Fang Heng didn't expect to be able to convince Qin Shuren so easily. He was stunned for a moment. After all, his identity still had a lot of dirt on him. He had thought that if Qin Shuren did not agree, he would have to think of another way to obtain the weapons. For a moment, the words that Fang Heng had prepared were useless. Thank you. Don't let Xiaoxi down. Do. The call ended. Fang Heng's face darkened. What did she mean by not letting Xiaoxi down? Team leader Fang, what did President Qin say? President Qin agreed. Pei Anan covered her mouth. President Qin agreed just like that. Pei Anan, let's at each other as friends first. That's all for today. Go back and rest. If there's anything else, we'll talk about it tomorrow. I told you to go back and rest early. Help me deal with those newcomers tomorrow morning, make them feel welcome. I don't have time. I believe you. You can do it. Fang Heng waved his hand, turned around and entered the gaming cabin. Hint, during the time you are offline, one of your zombie clones has died. Hint, during the time you are offline, your zombie clones have killed a Tier 1 mutated zombie *2, a normal zombie *566. You have gained 1,289 survival points, 110 evolution crystal fragments and a complete evolution crystal *1. Hint, during the time you are offline, your zombie clones have completed a portion of the sewer exploration. You have obtained a sewer area map A*1, a bottle filled with sewage water *21, expired instant noodles *3, a sewer area map C*1, decaying debris *12, contaminated rags *42, damp firewood *6. There were even casualties. It was most likely due to bad luck. The ordinary zombie clone first encountered the mutated zombie and was then killed. A map of the sewer area. Good stuff. Fang Heng opened the map and roughly scanned it. The entire sewer area of Hope Town was roughly divided into 4 areas. Got it. He could leave Hope Town by following this path. With the sewer map, the plan to kill Alex could be further improved. I'm lucky. This saves me a lot of trouble. Fang Heng put away the sewer map and immediately summoned the zombie clones that stayed outside the villa to retreat and let them all enter the sewer to explore. Killing Alex was not that simple. He needed to prepare a plan in advance and find a few reliable teammates. Fang Heng turned on the survival radio and sent a message to Hao Zhou. From their cooperation, Fang Heng felt that Hao Zhou's group could be trusted. And they should still be in the warehouse. Fang Heng, you guys haven't left the warehouse yet, right? It was still early, and Hao Zhou happened to be in the game. He immediately replied after receiving Fang Heng's message. Hao Zhou, well, not yet. The people of the Federation are very inflexible. They will only confirm that Old Black cannot be contacted at noon tomorrow. When that time comes, they will give us the reward. How are you? Are you still safe? Do you need our help? Fang Heng, I'm fine. It's like this. I want to kill Alex, and I need your help when the time comes. You and Sister Li are together, right? Are you interested? Hao Zhou. Fang Heng, don't worry, I have a plan. Even if the plan fails, I can guarantee your safety. If you're interested, go offline and rest first. We'll meet at the Federation warehouse at 2 o'clock tonight. In the Federation gaming warehouse, after receiving a message from Fang Heng, Hao Zhou's face was filled with doubt. Was he crazy? Did he want to kill Alex? Was he talking nonsense? Or was he not awake? He shouldn't be joking, right? Hao Zhou showed everyone the message from the radio and asked, what do you think? Everyone had entered the community hospital before and they knew about the Tier 4 mutated zombie, Alex. The moment they thought of that terrifying parasitic monster, they felt a chill run down their spines. Stop fooling around, that's a Tier 4 creature. Didn't you guys see it this afternoon? The Federation sent out so many people, and they even used rocket launchers, but they still couldn't get rid of him. Kuan-Ba shook his head repeatedly. He didn't think anyone could kill Alex. That's a Tier 4 mutated zombie. It's impossible. Everyone felt that Kuan-Ba was right. No matter who it was, the result would be the same, let alone Fang Heng. But after hesitating for a while, Kuan-Ta couldn't help but say, "But, brother, he's Fang Heng. He could escape from a ghost town like Hope Town by himself. At that time, we also thought that he couldn't do it, right?" Everyone fell silent for a while. Indeed, that fellow had created a miracle. At that time, no one thought that Fang Heng could survive in a ghost town that was surrounded by zombies. From what he said, he seemed to be living a comfortable life in the hospital. Now that they thought about it, Fang Heng's strength was still very terrifying. Kuan-Ta paused for a while, then added, "Moreover, he has very good equipment." Ah. Thinking of the good equipment that Fang Heng kept taking out from his backpack during the mission, everyone fell silent again. After a long while, Haozhou looked at everyone and suggested, "Why don't we wait and see? Since we have nothing to do, let's listen to his plan first." Kuan-Ta and his brother looked at each other and felt that this suggestion was not bad. "We are all right with this." Sister Li also nodded. "Sure." Haozhou immediately made a decision. "All right, then we'll wait and see what Fang Heng says. If his plan is feasible, we'll join him." For some reason, Haozhou was a little excited. His logic told him that it was impossible to kill Alex, but Haozhou was just like the others. They were looking forward to this impossible task. "Hey, tell me, if we have the chance to kill Alex, will we still get the King of God's first kill team reward?" "Yes, I heard from my friend that for the first kill of a high-level mutated zombie in the server, we will get the King of God's Space Skill Book reward. The reward will be distributed according to the King of God's team contribution points. It's said that even if you're just a bystander in the team, you'll still be able to get at least a D+ level skill book." Cough, cough. Haozhou coughed lightly, interrupting everyone's intense discussion. "Don't think about it anymore. We will listen to what Fang Heng has to say. Rest well first. We'll be online at 1:50. Morning, 1:30 a.m. A modified motorcycle drove over from afar and steadily stopped outside the Federation warehouse resource point. A young man wearing a black face mask dismounted from the motorcycle. Inside the warehouse, the two Federation players in charge of keeping watch were shocked. There was someone outside who wasn't afraid of death at such a late hour. Could he have been infected long ago? They immediately stretched out their hands to stop this extremely suspicious fellow. "Who? Where did you come from?" Fang Heng took off his face mask. "I'm Fang Heng from the Phoenix Sound Gaming Company. I'm here to receive the mission." The two of them looked at Fang Heng up and down with a strange gaze. They had indeed heard that there would be people from the Phoenix Sound Gaming Company coming over, but they did not expect them to rush over in the middle of the night. There was someone who was not afraid of death. "Come with us." After verifying Fang Heng's identity, the two Federation players brought Fang Heng to the counter in the hall. "Hello, the Phoenix Sound Gaming Company has contacted our superiors. This is the gasoline you need. Please sign for it." The pretty lady behind the counter placed 12 barrels of gasoline, 4 liters, on the counter. "In addition, to ensure that the mission can be completed according to the rules, we need you to activate the video recording mode while you kill the Tier 4 mutated zombie and submit the video after the mission is completed." "All right, I got it." Fang Heng put the gasoline barrels into his backpack one by one. "What about the small explosive packs and the fuel for the flamethrower?" "I'm sorry, Mr. Fang Heng. After receiving the news from our superiors, we have already sent out the information to the various resource points at the first possible moment. However, as it is already nighttime, it is estimated that these two materials will be delivered within an hour of dawn tomorrow. You can come and collect them from me at that time." "Okay, thank you." Fang Heng nodded to show his understanding. After all, the small explosive packs in the game were high-level materials, so it was normal that there were no reserves in the warehouse resource point. Fang Heng found a corner in the warehouse and sat down. He lit a bonfire and opened the game log. The zombies sent out had already completed more than 60% of the cleaning work of the sewer. A passage connecting the sewer inside and outside of Hope Town had been formed. By then, he could bring Haozhou and the others directly into the town through the sewer. The biggest challenge in the plan had been resolved. Soon, Haozhou and the rest came online. Everyone sat in front of the bonfire. Kuan Ta could not help but ask first. Fang Heng, have you considered it thoroughly? Alex is a tier 4 mutated zombie. He's strong, and normal weapons can't harm him. Of course, I have a plan. Haozhou looked serious as he said, Fang Heng, we're willing to trust you, but we won't risk our lives. So, we hope you can tell us your plan honestly. Alright, I happen to get a few sewer maps. Fang Heng told them his plan in detail. He talked for almost 10 minutes. After that, Haozhou and the others lowered their heads at the same time and fell into deep thought. What a guy. He thought of a way to kill Alex. And it sounded very feasible. From the initial consensus that Fang Heng couldn't do it to gradually believing that he actually could pull this off. Until now, after listening to Fang Heng's explanation, everyone had begun to think about the success rate in accomplishing this mission. 50% or 60%. In Kuan Ba's opinion, as long as there was a 30% success rate, he was willing to take a gamble. Fang Heng felt a little thirsty. He silently took out a can of coffee from his backpack. After finishing the coffee, Fang Heng raised his head and looked at everyone. This is the plan. You only need to complete the part that you are responsible for, then killing Alex won't be a problem. Fang Heng's tone was filled with confidence. As he spoke, he looked at the time again. There's still 3.5 hours before daybreak. If you have any questions, bring them up as soon as possible. We'll complete the plan together. Kuan Ba frowned and said in a deep voice, isn't it too dangerous to anger Alex by force? Alex is surrounded by a large number of small zombies. At that time, we have to take into account the timing of the explosion. It's extremely dangerous. You're right. This is the most dangerous part of the plan, so we need your help. Sister Li's perception barrier can be of great help. Sister Li nodded. There's no problem with this part of mine. Fang Heng looked at Haozhou, who had been deep in thought. What about the explosive part? Haozhou nodded and said, the problem with the explosive part is the explosives. According to what you said, we need at least 8 sets of small explosives. I've already applied to the Federation for this. The explosives and gasoline for the ignition are already prepared. We'll be able to get them by dawn today. Everyone's minds became active as they thought about the possibilities. It seemed like they could really kill Alex according to Fang Heng's plan. Alright, Fang Heng, your plan has indeed exceeded my expectations. Haozhou sighed in his heart, shook his head and said, but your plan has a fatal flaw. Fang Heng raised his eyebrows. Flaw? Yes, the problem lies in the sewers. Haozhou continued, when I accepted Old Black's mission, I also considered invading Hope Town through the sewers, but later I realized that it was impossible. Kuan Ta asked first, why? Because the sewers and the outside are more dangerous. The sewers are also filled with zombies, including many tier 1 plus zombies. There's also the smell of the sewers. The stench that pervades the sewers will cause players to sustain negative statuses. Ordinary players are simply unable to stay in the sewers for more than 10 minutes. Haozhou shook his head and smiled bitterly. Previously, I've asked a friend for an assessment. Invading Hope Town from the sewers is much more difficult than invading from the surface. The Kuan brothers' hearts sank when they heard that. Fang Heng patted Haozhou on the shoulder. Don't worry about the sewer. I've taken care of it. What? Haozhou turned his head and looked at Fang Heng in surprise as if he didn't hear him. What did you say? It's taken care of. Yes, I've completely cleaned the sewer. I'll bring you to take a look at the scene later. You'll know when the time comes. Haozhou opened his mouth in surprise. He wanted to ask Fang Heng how he did it, but he stopped himself. This was Fang Heng's secret. If he rashly asked about it, not only would he not get an answer, but he would also make Fang Heng unhappy. Okay. Ba was excited. So, we have no problem. If the sewer is safe. Zhou was still doubtful. He really couldn't figure out how Fang Heng could solve the zombie crowd in the sewer. But judging from Fang Heng's confident look, he didn't seem to be lying. Zhou said, I have no problem with the general plan for the time being. Okay. Let's continue to perfect the details and do our jobs. The group spent another 2 hours thoroughly revising the plan over and over again. There was at least a 70% success rate. 2 hours later, Fang Heng had drawn up all the details of the plan. He rubbed his neck and handed a small jar of honey to Zhou. Come, follow me to the sewer. I'll take you to observe the terrain. Now. Yes, drink this. Also, put this on. Fang Heng wore a black face mask with an extremely ugly design on his face and handed one to Zhou. Item, small jar of honey. Type, food. Description, a gift from nature. After eating the honey, it can restore satiety, relieve thirst and reduce the risk of infection to a certain extent in a short period. Item, a fragrant black wet face mask. Type, costume. Description, make a rough face mask, soaked in the liquid mixed with perfume. If you don't find it ugly, you can try it on. The next day, the sun rose. Fang Heng brought Zhou back to the Federation Resource Point warehouse. How is it? Ba and the others were burning with anxiety, and they quickly surrounded him. Zhou was convinced this time. He saw with his own eyes that the city's underground sewer was clean, and not even the shadow of a zombie could be seen. If he had not seen it with his own eyes, he would never have believed that such a thing had happened. Only God knew how Fang Heng, this little monster, had done it. He did not want to think about it anymore. No matter what, the clean sewer meant that their plan could be carried out. Facing the expectant gazes of the two brothers, Zhou nodded his head. A smile appeared on his face. I've verified it with my own eyes. There are no problems with the sewers or the explosion. All right. Ba clenched his fists in excitement, and a faint trace of joy flashed across Sister Li's eyes. Zhou had always been a calm person when it came to doing things. When he said there were no problems, he meant it. With his words, the success rate of this plan would be guaranteed. They were now certain that Fang Heng could achieve the first kill of Alex. Everything was going according to plan, except for the last item, the explosives. Let's go and ask the Federation for the explosives. Fang Heng brought Zhou and the others to the counter. Hello, I'm Fang Heng from Phoenix Sound Gaming Company. I'm here to collect the equipment and materials. Please wait a moment. The young lady behind the counter placed 12 small explosive packs and 5 bottles of flamethrower fuel on the counter. According to the agreement, these are the small explosive packs and flamethrower fuel that you requested. Please sign here to receive them. Fang Heng signed the receipt and was about to reach out to take it. Wait a moment. A hand was placed in front of Fang Heng. Hello, Mr. Fang Heng. I am the person in charge of the Federation's external recruitment mission, Li Weiyu. Fang Heng raised his head and looked at the middle-aged man in the uniform of a federal officer in front of him. Is there a problem? I understand that your Phoenix Sound Gaming Company has exchanged for a large number of small explosive packs. Yes, that's right. I want to remind you that if you want to use explosives to directly blow up Alex, then you'd better give up on this plan. Thank you for your kindness. I understand your intentions, but we have a plan. Li Weiyu frowned and blocked Fang Heng's way. He didn't have a good feeling about this young man. Fang Heng asked, is there anything else? We don't have a lot of time. The large number of explosives that you exchanged might anger Alex. What's worse, the explosion will cause a huge sound wave that will cause a zombie crowd in Hope Town. Yeah, so. For safety reasons, we will send people to participate in this mission and assess the condition of the mutated zombie Alex throughout the mission. If we think that your operation can't kill Alex and might cause a larger-scale zombie riot, we will immediately terminate this mission. Li Weiyu's words made Sister Li and the others feel very unhappy. Ta muttered softly, Tisk, terminate this mission, who does he think he is? For mercenaries, the most annoying thing when they were carrying out a mission was having a self-righteous boss bossing them around. However, when Fang Heng heard this, not only did he not feel offended, but his eyes lit up instead. His originally furrowed brows relaxed. Federation elites. Participating in the entire operation. Good heavens. Wasn't this the Tolman that was given to him for free? Fang Heng pondered for a moment before asking tentatively, "Can we have more?" Li Weiyu interrupted him expressionlessly. "No, you can't refuse. This is the prerequisite for cooperating with the Federation. It's also to ensure the safety of the temporary resource point. I hope you can understand. We will minimize the impact on your team as much as possible. We will only send one person to your team. Under normal circumstances, he will not affect your actions." No, you have misunderstood. I completely understand your worries." Fang Heng waved his hand repeatedly. Li Weiyu was stunned. What did he want to say? Our Phoenix Sound Gaming Company has always adhered to the concept of customer first. We are willing to serve the people and have a lot of trust in the Federation. What I mean is it too few to have just one guy to join our team? For safety reasons, you can send a team to join our team. What did this brat mean? In almost all of the previous missions, when other player teams heard that the Federation wanted to join their team, they were extremely uncooperative. Why did this completely change when it came to him? For a moment, Li Weiyu even felt that Fang Heng was mocking him. We truly need the guidance and supervision of the Federation. Thank you. Looking at the sincere face of Fang Heng, Li Weiyu was completely confused. You've helped us a lot. After all, I don't feel at ease with so many small explosives in my hands. If we run into a zombie horde during the process of breaking into Hope Town, we'll be in trouble. Li Weiyu began to ponder. It turned out that Fang Heng treated their Federation's elite team as coolies. This was the first time he had encountered such a situation. For a moment, Li Weiyu was rather speechless. After giving it some thought, Li Weiyu agreed. In any case, it was good as long as they could achieve their goal of monitoring. By sending more people over, they would be able to better control the gaming company's team, preventing any accidents from happening beyond their control. After all, out of so many player guilds and gaming companies, only Phoenix Sound Gaming Company dared to accept the mission and was even willing to pay compensation after the mission failed. This was the reason why the superiors were willing to trust Phoenix Sound Gaming Company. Of course, the Federation had already considered the situation of the mission failing and had already prepared a backup evacuation plan. Alright, the 17th elite team of the Federation will accompany all of you to complete this mission. Remember, we have the right to terminate the mission at the critical moment. As Li Weiyu spoke, he waved at a young man who was standing not far away. Reporting for duty, I am the captain of the 17th elite team, Chen Yu. Chen Yu brought 5 other players over and bowed to Li Weiyu before turning to face Fang Heng in unison. Mr. Fang Heng, we will cooperate with you to complete this mission. Done. I got it. Fang Heng thought to himself. The most troublesome part of the killing plan was that they needed to set up the explosives and lure Alex into the trap under the siege of zombies. With the help of the Federation's tollmen, the success rate had been greatly increased. Fang Heng, happy cooperation. Hope Town was occupied by the zombie hordes. Fang Heng and the others arrived at the east side of the town and were preparing to invade through the main entrance. Before they left, Fang Heng, Hao Zhou and the others tacitly took out black wet face masks and placed them on their faces, covering their noses and mouths. This scene baffled Chen Yu and his team. What were they trying to do? Their outfit looked a little like the bank robbers in the movies. Fang Heng also gave Chen Yu and his elite team a black face mask. Come, one for each of you. It's a welcome gift. The face mask was a very basic item in the game. It could be easily made with a few pieces of rags. Fang Heng added a special step and soaked it with mineral water mixed with perfume. Item, fragrant black face mask. Type, outfit. Description, make a rough face mask and soak it with perfume. If you don't think it's ugly, you can try it on. Should I say thank you? Chen Yu held the wet mask in his hand and didn't know whether to laugh or cry. What could this thing do? Hey, it's nothing. You're welcome. While speaking, Fang Heng's face turned serious. He glanced at the scattered zombies in Hope Town. Are you ready? It's time to start. The elite team led by Chen Yu was extremely powerful. Their weapons were all iron-long knives, and each of them was equipped with a pistol. However, they had limited bullets in their pistols, so they wouldn't use them unless it was an emergency. The group quickly entered Hope Town and slaughtered their way in. After moving forward for a while, Chen Yu noticed that Fang Heng, who was leading the group, had deviated from his original position. He frowned and asked, "Where are we going?" "Alex is not in that direction." "Of course not. Alex is surrounded by zombies. We need to find another place to plant the bomb in advance." Hearing that, Chen Yu sighed again in his heart. After all this time, he still wanted to use explosives to kill Alex. It was useless to do that. The Federation had already obtained some information about Alex last night. Unless the explosives were placed inside Alex's body and detonated from the inside, the impact of the explosion would at most cause some injuries to Alex. Seeing how stubborn Fang Heng was, Chen Yu did not continue to persuade him. After all, this was an agreement between the superiors and Phoenix Sound Gaming Company. If the mission failed, Phoenix Sound Gaming Company would double compensate the Federation for the loss of this batch of equipment and materials. All he had to do was follow the instructions of his superiors. As long as the impact of the explosion did not affect the warehouse outside of Hope Town, everything would be done by Fang Heng. The group quickly cleared the zombies along the way and arrived at the planned location. At the empty intersection, a few black cross-shaped stars had already been drawn on the ground. Fang Heng nodded at Hao Zhou, who immediately went to set up a small explosive pack. The zombies around the town smelled the scent of living people and gathered around. Among them, there were some Tier 1 mutated zombies. It was time for the Tolman to appear. Fang Heng waved at Chen Yu. "Brother, do me a favor and help me protect him." Chen Yu was helpless. He signaled his team to pick up the long iron knives and help Kuan Ta and the others protect Hao Zhou, who was setting up the explosive packs. Hao Zhou was a veteran in this field. In just 5 minutes, he had finished installing the explosive packs. "It's done. Okay, let's go." Fang Heng waved his hand and everyone turned around and ran toward Alex again. Before long, they arrived at the center of the town, which was surrounded by zombies. Hiding in the distance, Fang Heng could see that Alex was still unconscious. The two brothers, Kuan Ba and Kuan Ta, were a little nervous. This was the most critical and dangerous step in the mission. Fang Heng licked his lips and asked, "Chen Yu, how's your marksmanship? Are you trying to lure them into the explosive zone?" Chen Yu had already seen through Fang Heng's plan. All he had to do was to lure Alex into the explosive zone and use the explosives to kill it. Sigh. This guy wouldn't listen to reason. "You guessed right. Can you do it?" "Yes." Chen Yu took out his pistol and pointed it at Alex. Bang. A gunshot was heard. The bullet hit Alex's brow bone. "Good marksmanship." Fang Heng raised his eyebrows and gave a compliment. The unconscious Alex ended up with a white mark on his forehead. After being shot, Alex immediately showed signs of waking up. The vines on his body squirmed rapidly. Bang. Chen Yu raised his hand and pulled the trigger. The bullet hit Alex on the cheek. Alex had completely woken up. He supported himself with one hand and slowly stood up. Then, he slowly turned his head and looked at Fang Heng and the others. At the same time, Sister Li activated her perception barrier at once, blocking the senses of the ordinary zombies around her. Alex was a Tier 4 mutated zombie, so he wasn't affected by the perception barrier. He locked his eyes on Fang Heng and the others, then quickly chased after Chen Yu. "Run!" Fang Heng shouted and everyone turned around to run. Alex continued to chase until he was led to the central intersection that Fang Heng had planned out beforehand. Hao Zhou stared at the position where Alex was moving. "He's coming." Hao Zhou pressed the detonation button for the small explosives. Boom. The 12 small explosives that had been installed at the central intersection exploded at the same time. The timing was just right. The explosion point was triggered perfectly. Fang Heng was also staring at Alex. He was glad to have met Hao Zhou, a genius in explosives. In an instant, a huge explosion resounded throughout Hope Town. The ground shook violently. Almost all the zombies in the town turned to look in the direction of the explosion at the same time. They hesitated for about half a second. Then, they turned around and staggered toward the direction of the explosion. Although they were prepared, the loud explosion still made Chen Yu's ears ring for a short while. He felt his feet shake, and he couldn't help but stagger. When he regained his balance, he saw yellow dust in front of him. His vision was blocked, so he couldn't see clearly what was happening inside the dust, let alone confirm Alex's condition. Chen Yu raised his vigilance. He also noticed that the explosion was perfect. It was better than he had expected. However, it was impossible to kill Alex with the explosion alone. At most, it would only injure Alex. His ears were filled with the whimpering sounds of zombies. Chen Yu turned his head again and saw the zombies rushing toward him from all directions. Not good. The explosion was too successful, but it caused the zombies to gather here frantically. If they didn't run now, they would be surrounded by the zombies. Run. If we don't run now, it would be too. While speaking, Chen Yu saw the blurry scene in the smoke, and the second half of his sentence was stuck in his throat. Eh? Where's Alex? Where is he? Chen Yu was still in a daze when he saw Fang Heng shouting. Chen Yu. Quick. Bring your men and follow me. Chen Yu turned his head and saw Fang Heng take the lead to rush into the smoke. In the blink of an eye, Fang Heng and Hao Zhou's group disappeared into the smoke. Where were they going? What was going on? Chen Yu followed them and took 2 quick steps forward. He couldn't help but be stunned. It was a hole. The ground in the middle of the intersection had been blasted into a huge hole by the explosives. Alex had fallen into the deep hole because the ground had collapsed from the explosion. It was pitch black below and it was hard to see what was there. Quick! Don't just stand there. Come over together. Chen Yu turned his head and saw that the manhole cover of a sewer not far away had been lifted. Hao Zhou stuck half of his head out of the sewer and waved at them. Chen Yu suddenly understood. That's right, the hole was part of their plan. The explosion itself was not to kill Alex but to create a hole in the ground. But what happened next? What should he do next? Captain. What should we do? Quick. Let's go into the sewer together. Seeing that the surrounding zombies were about to gather over, Chen Yu didn't have time to think about these things. He commanded his team members to quickly follow him and hide in the sewer. Chen Yu was in charge of the rear. He was the last one to climb into the sewer and close the manhole cover. Just as he climbed down the ladder and landed on the ground, an indescribable stench assaulted his nostrils. Seeing the black face masks on the faces of Fang Heng and his team, Chen Yu suddenly understood something. So the face masks were used at this time. However, Chen Yu was not in the mood to take the face mask from his backpack. His gaze quickly moved away from Fang Heng and the others to look for Alex in the sewer. Where was Alex? What was that? Another hole. Why was there such a big hole in the ground of the sewer? Chen Yu could not help but raise his head. The hole in the ground that collapsed earlier was right above this hole. After the explosion, Alex, who was supposed to be at the center of the intersection, would have fallen straight into the deep hole in the sewer. All of this was Fang Heng's plan. Chen Yu was a little dumbfounded. He walked quickly to the hole and looked down. The hole was at least 7 to 8 meters deep. Roar. Alex, who had fallen into the deep hole, let out an angry roar. Be careful. While he was distracted, Chen Yu heard a loud shout. Fang Heng pulled Chen Yu away from the hole. Chi chi chi. Looking down, a few vines shot out from the hole and stabbed into the spot where Chen Yu was standing. More vines came out from the hole. The vines stuck into the crack. Alex was using the vines that extended from his body to find a point of leverage. He was trying to escape. You still want to run? Kuan Ta and Kuan Ba each carried a barrel of gasoline and poured it on the vines. Then, they threw the remaining barrels into the hole and smashed them on Alex's body. Roar. Alex let out another roar. The vines that extended from his body contracted rapidly, and his body was pulled towards the top of the hole. Get out of the way. I'll do it. Fang Heng took out the focused flamethrower, took half a step forward and pressed the trigger as he aimed at the vines on the ground. Boom. Thin blue tongues of flame spat out. The vines were flammable, to begin with, not to mention that there was a layer of gasoline attached to them. The flames burned along the vines and spread to Alex's body in the blink of an eye. Roar. Alex, who was using the contraction of the vines to stay in midair, was covered in flames. He let out a howl and fell into the hole once again. So this was Fang Heng's plan. He was using the hole in the sewer to create a fire pit and burn the Tier 4 mutated zombie Alex to death. From the explosion to the deep hole to the fire pit. All of this was orchestrated by them. It was too shocking. This huge hole was dug by his team. What the hell? How long would it take to dig such a huge hole? It had only been half a day since the Federation issued the mission to the outside world. How did they do it? Even if they didn't eat or drink, they couldn't dig such a huge hole continuously. Could it be that one of their talent skills was an excavator? Chen Yu turned around and looked at Fang Heng in shock. He noticed that Fang Heng was looking up, and a smile of success appeared on his face. What was that guy looking at? With doubt, Chen Yu subconsciously looked up and followed Fang Heng's gaze to the sky. A huge hole was created in the ceiling of the sewer and the road surface due to the explosion. Many zombies were surrounding the hole. They were all attracted by the sound of the explosion. The densely packed zombies were pushing and shoving one another. Soon. Plop. A sound. A zombie fell from the sky and fell into the fire pit. This sound seemed to have triggered a chain reaction. Plop. Plop. One sound after another was heard. The zombies fell from the hole in the road one after another like dumplings, then steadily fell into the burning fire pit in the sewers. The flames in the deep hole quickly devoured the zombies. Was he killing zombies? Chen Yu was deeply shocked by the scene in front of him. He turned around and looked at Fang Heng with a hint of fear in his eyes. Is this part of your plan? There are so many zombies in the outside world. How many points can he earn from this? The efficiency is too terrifying. Hint, you have killed an ordinary zombie. You have gained 2 survival points. Hint, you have killed an ordinary zombie. You have gained 2 survival points. Hint, you have killed an ordinary zombie. You have gained 2 survival points. Hint, you have killed an ordinary zombie. Hee, the plan is a success. Fang Heng glanced at the game log that was flooded with messages and muttered to himself. The version 3.5 of the fully automatic zombie pit that is circulating on the internet is really something. Looking at the burning pit, Hao Zhou and the others were extremely excited. They stood by the fire pit and looked at Alex struggling in the fire pit. His HP was decreasing bit by bit. Soon, the negative effect of staying in the sewer appeared. Everyone received the warning from the game log. Hao Zhou covered his mouth and nose and looked at Fang Heng. Fang Heng, we can't hold on much longer. If we stay here any longer, we'll lose HP. Fang Heng replied, you guys go first. Evacuate from Route A. I'll kill a few more zombies. Everyone looked at Fang Heng silently. Kill a few more zombies. Was that human language? Chen Yu frowned and asked, then what are you going to do? I have my own ways. Hurry up. The location where Hao Zhou had set up the small explosives was too perfect. Almost all the zombies in the town were attracted by the violent explosion. The number of zombies falling from the sky was much more than Fang Heng had expected. In this way, Fang Heng didn't have enough fuel and gasoline on hand. Fang Heng thought for a moment and added, by the way, think of a way to get some gasoline for me when you go back. Okay. Hao Zhou trusted Fang Heng very much. He agreed, turned around and left with his team. Although they all wanted to stay and watch Alex die, they knew the risks. What if Alex's HP was too high and 12 barrels of gasoline weren't enough to burn him? The plan had already reached this stage. It was about to succeed, so they couldn't make such a stupid mistake. Chen Yu's team members had already put on their black masks and looked at each other. They wanted to stay, but because of the negative effect of the sewage stench, they had no choice but to leave with Hao Zhou and the others. After watching Hao Zhou and the others leave, Fang Heng changed into another black face mask and continued to watch the zombies falling into the zombie pit. No matter if they were ordinary zombies or mutated zombies, as long as they fell into the zombie pit, there would be no survivors. The 3.5 optimized version of the fully automatic zombie pit was simply too brilliant. There was nothing to do actually, he just need to stand there. A vast amount of survival points went to Fang Heng. This kind of collection speed was simply explosive. In just a mere 5 minutes, Fang Heng had already collected 10,000 survival points. The only drawback was that other than the evolution crystals, all the items dropped by the zombies were also burned into ashes in the fire pit. Hint: your HP is dropping rapidly. Please leave the sewer as soon as possible. Hint: you are at risk of being infected. I can't hold on any longer. Another 5 minutes passed. Seeing that his HP was dropping, Fang Heng frowned and quickly walked toward the other direction of the sewer. In the garden of the villa, Fang Heng stuck his head out of the sewer and breathed heavily. The back garden had been completely occupied by the zombie clones. Any zombie that accidentally broke into the back garden would be killed by the clones. Fang Heng took out a bottle of first aid spray from his backpack and sprayed it on his nose. Hint: you have used a healing spray. Your HP is recovering rapidly. His HP was increasing rapidly. After waiting for 3 minutes, the stench in his nose had completely disappeared. Fang Heng returned to the sewer once again. Alex, who was burned by the flames, lasted for a full hour. In the end, he was burnt to a black mass. Hint: you have killed a Tier 4 mutated zombie Alex. Hint: you have obtained a Tier 3 evolution crystal. Hint: as the first player in this world to kill a Tier 4 mutated zombie, you will receive the highest reward according to your contribution points, a random A-level skill book. Hint: drawing in progress. Hint: you have obtained a skill book, Strengthen the Body. Skill: Strengthen the Body. Skill description: after learning the skill, you will receive an additional 2 points in your basic physique, 2 points in your basic strength and a small increase in your poison resistance. For every 1 level increase of this skill, you will gain an additional 0.5 physique and 0.5 strength. The maximum increase of this skill is 30. Skill description: automatically releases this skill, immediately consumes 60% of your maximum vitality and immediately restores 80% of your maximum HP, cooldown, 6 hours. This is good stuff. Fang Heng quickly scanned through the skill and immediately determined the value of this skill book. It was a powerful skill book that could increase basic attributes, and it also came with an instant health recovery skill. It could recover up to 80% of the maximum HP. Most importantly, his zombie clones could also inherit the effect of this skill. Since zombies did not have stamina, this meant that casting this skill did not consume any energy. It was equivalent to the zombie gaining half of its HP. Fang Heng patted the skill book on his head. As for the Tier 3 evolution crystal, he temporarily kept it in his backpack. Hint: player learns skill Strengthen the Body. Hint: you have acquired skill, Strengthen the Body, level 1. Fang Heng suddenly realized that after learning the skill to strengthen the body, the dizziness brought by the stench in the sewer seemed to have slightly weakened. The smell was also not as bad as before. This should be the effect of a small increase in poison resistance. Fang Heng muttered to himself in a low voice. At the same time, Hao Zhou and the others who were buying gasoline from the Federation in the Federation warehouse also received the game notification. Everyone stopped what they were doing at the same time and excitedly opened the game log to check. Other than Hao Zhou, who had obtained a B-level skill book, everyone else had obtained a C+ level skill book. Raising their heads, everyone saw the joy on the other party's face. It was a success. Completing the mission with the relative of the Apocalypse merchant was indeed profitable. This wave of rewards was aplenty. The fire pit burned for more than 10 hours. When the sun began to set, Fang Heng threw the last barrel of gasoline into the fire pit. He raised his head. Many zombies were still gathering around the hole in the ground, falling into the fire pit one after another. The fire had already started to die out. After this battle, Fang Heng had killed at least 3/4 of the zombies in Hope Town. Fang Heng counted his earnings. In 1 day's time, he had gained a total of 11,000 survival points. It was about time to consider leaving Hope Town early. If he continued to stay here, the efficiency of killing zombies would be much slower. Moreover, as the number of zombies in Hope Town decreased significantly, the small player teams and Federation players outside the town would gradually enter the town to search for materials. At that time, his zombie clones would meet the players and easily get into trouble. Fang Heng felt that this wave of greed had been enough and there was not enough profit to be made in the town. It was better to go back as soon as possible. In addition, Fang Heng was also a little worried about the situation in the prison shelter. Before leaving the prison, Fang Heng asked Liao Bufan to keep a close eye on the Dawn Gaming Company, Prisoner Snake and his gang. Once he discovered that they were making a move, Jimmy would immediately find him in the real world. Jimmy had not contacted him, which meant that the prison shelter was still safe for the time being. Let's go. Let's go to the Federation first. Let's get the large truck. Fang Heng raised his hand. The thick layer of evolution crystals that had been deposited in the underground pit turned into a ray of red light and was absorbed into Fang Heng's palm. Hint: you have obtained evolution crystal fragment *9017, complete evolution crystal *56. Not bad. Bang. Bang bang. The complete evolution crystals exploded in Fang Heng's palm one after another. Clusters of red mist were absorbed by Fang Heng's palm. After absorbing more than 30 complete evolution crystals, Fang Heng's level finally rose to level 10. Hint: your level has been upgraded to level 10. Hint: due to your talent skill, you have gained an additional 10 zombie clones. Hint: you have reached level 10. You can look for an individual talent enhancement plan in the game and complete the talent enhancement. Hint: only when the player is at level 10 can the talent enhancement be completed. It's coming, talent enhancement. Fang Heng's eyes lit up. The special settings of the King of Gods game. In the game, all players who reached level 10 would receive their first talent enhancement. If they wanted to enhance themselves, they had to first find an enhancement plan. The talent enhancement plan was aimed at each player's talent, and it was also divided into different levels according to the intensity. The higher the level of the enhancement plan, the higher the enhancement range. As for the enhancement plan, the player had to trigger a mission in each game world and rely on himself to explore and obtain it. Only for the zombie apocalypse game. The average player only needed to increase the apocalypse merchant's favorability to a certain level to be able to receive the D to C+ level talent enhancement plan from him. The difficulty of obtaining a B level or higher level talent enhancement plan became very high. Since the start of the game, the majority of the players were only able to find a D to C level talent enhancement plan. Only super large organizations like the Federation had the opportunity to look for an A-level talent enhancement plan, or even an S-level talent enhancement plan. According to the data released by the Federation every year, the number of players who actually completed a Tier 1 S-level talent enhancement plan each year was less than 10. The original owner of Fang Heng's body received a B+ level enhanced transformation plan. The specific additional attributes allowed the zombie clones to receive additional attribute enhancements and a reduction in regeneration time, as well as a slight increase in the movement speed of the zombie clones. In addition, players could only awaken and complete the first talent enhancement when they were at level 10. Once a player was over level 10 and had not completed the enhancement, the first opportunity to enhance would be wasted. Fang Heng lowered his head and pondered. Talent enhancement was definitely necessary. The matter of leveling up could be slowed down. After all, another level up would only add 11 more zombie clones. It would not be able to cause a qualitative change. The problem was where to find the enhancement plan. Got it. Phoenix Sound Gaming Company. As a large-scale gaming company, Phoenix Sound Gaming Company had established a super large-scale shelter in the server of Zombie Apocalypse District 6. It was ranked 4th among the top 10 forces in District 6. The original owner of the body had once found a report on the internet. Phoenix Sound Gaming Company had completed 2 S-level talent enhancement projects within 8 years. This meant that Phoenix Sound Gaming Company should have information on the S-level talent enhancement projects. Looks like I have to think of a way from within the company to see how I can get my hands on the projects. Fang Heng muttered to himself. Other than that, there was also the Dark Knights. The Dark Knights were part of the main storyline of the zombie apocalypse world. Similarly, they were also one of the most mysterious and top-tier NPC forces in the game. They definitely had a top-tier talent enhancement and transformation plan in their hands. The rewards from the T-Virus mission should be enough for him to join the Dark Knights. It all depended on whether he could get the enhancement plan from them. If I start from both sides at the same time, I'll always be able to find a talent enhancement plan. Fang Heng muttered to himself as he turned around and left the sewer. In any case, he would first go back to the Federation to exchange for a large transport vehicle before returning to the prison. I'm too tired. I really want to have a good sleep. He had been busy the whole of last night, and today, he was in high spirits as he watched an entire day of killing monsters in the automatic zombie pit. Fang Heng had not slept the entire time. He had only been able to hold on until now by pouring himself a cup of coffee. Now that the coffee had stopped, the negative effects of sleepiness started to appear. Soon, Fang Heng left the Hope Town sewer. He yawned as he went to the federal warehouse and submitted a portion of the video recording of killing Alex to the female federal officer. Thank you for your help to the Federation. We will follow up with an investigation on Alex and verify your video recording. The person in charge of this mission, Officer Li Weiyu, is very satisfied with your operation. He has approved that we can pay the reward for this mission in advance. If there are any problems in the future, we will contact the Phoenix Sound Gaming Company directly. Fang Heng recalled the federal military officer he had seen not long ago. That person always had a straight face. Who would have thought that he was a good person? In reality, the Federation had always adopted a soft-hearted policy towards the ordinary people. This was especially true for talented players like Fang Heng. The Federation had always taken a soft approach to recruiting. Even if the other party was unwilling to accept the offer, the Federation would not force him. What they wanted more were peace and cooperation. The Federation needed to put more effort into the higher-tier King of Gods games. The competition there was more brutal. For them, that was the main battlefield. Regarding the zombie apocalypse, the vampire apocalypse and the wasteland apocalypse. These three basic game worlds added up to more than 30 mirror servers. The Federation really couldn't handle it. What they had to do was to try their best to ensure the stability of these low-level games and maintain the stability of the entire society. If someone was able to establish a large force in the zombie apocalypse to provide the players with a place to live, the Federation would only be happy, and they would even provide some help for free. The prerequisite was that this person's identity was innocent and could not destroy the stability of the game world. As for whether or not they could become the boss of the server, the Federation did not care. Their annual investment in the game was far greater than their output. Of course, there was one thing that the Federation would choose to do their best to fight for. The end of the game world. The end meant ownership. Thank you. You're welcome. In addition, according to the agreement, the reward will be 500 King of Gods points. Because of the game's trading limit, we can trade with you over a few months. You can also use the method of physical exchange. I need to exchange for physical items. A Ural 790 military off-road transport vehicle, the one that cost 465 King of Gods points, and also King of Gods space item number GY529128. Fang Heng was already prepared. This afternoon, while looking at the automatic zombie pit, he was browsing through the King of Gods space's transport vehicles. The young lady behind the counter looked at Fang Heng in surprise. A large military transport vehicle. Why would he want that kind of thing? All right, we will arrange it as soon as possible. It is expected to arrive tomorrow afternoon. You still have 35 King of Gods points left. Do you need to collect them now? Help me collect them. Thank you. Hint, you have obtained 35 King of Gods points. The Federation reward had been obtained. Including the mission that Old Black had requested to blow up the generator, Fang Heng now had 95 King of Gods points. Previously, Fang Heng had originally wanted to share some of the rewards with Hao Zhou and the others as payment for this mission. However, Hao Zhou and the others resolutely declined. They said that the skill books they had obtained were already enough, so they were embarrassed to take more. However, in the future, they could continue to cooperate on such missions. Therefore, Fang Heng could only give them some food and materials as compensation. After all, Fang Heng didn't lack food at the moment, and a large portion of the food would go bad if left untouched. He was so sleepy that he simply found a clean spot in the warehouse, threw down a simple bed on the spot and went offline. Team 12 doesn't even have a lounge or a recliner. I still have to go back to the villa to sleep. Phoenix Sound Gaming Company. Morning meeting. There was a weekly meeting. Other than the higher-ups of the gaming company, all the team leaders of the gaming department participated in it. Fang Heng didn't know about this matter, so he was naturally absent. Which team received the Federation's mission to kill Alex? Why did they accept it without my approval? In front of the conference table, everyone looked at each other. Alex's mission. No one received it right. In the silence, the female assistant said timidly, Sister Ru, this mission was personally approved by President Qin. President Qin again. What's wrong with her? Ever since she came, the company has been in a mess. For all the trouble she had caused in the past, we were the ones to clean up the mess behind her back. Stop stirring trouble if you can't make any contributions. Li Ru flew into a rage on the spot. The anger that stemmed from jealousy was 30% real and 70% fake. Li Ru had been eyeing the position of the company's president for a long time. She was almost certain of it, but she didn't expect Qin Shuren to suddenly appear out of nowhere and become the company's executive vice president overnight. She was on the same level as her. How long did it take her to get to this position? That rookie who had just graduated not long ago could be on the same level as her. Now, she had even become her biggest competitor for the position of president. On what basis? From that day onwards, Li Ru had been secretly targeting her. The Federation has always been a very important client of ours. If this mission fails, will she be able to shoulder this responsibility? Many people present knew that President Li and President Qin were not on good terms. Most of them were quietly being spectators as they watched Li Ru's performance. There were also quite some people who had been fooled by Li Ru and were similarly filled with righteous indignation. Li Ru was trying to stir up everyone's emotions, trying to seek greater benefits for herself. Suddenly, a weak voice interrupted her words. But President Li, the Federation's mission has been completed. Li Ru's expression changed several times in an instant. For a moment, she stood awkwardly on the spot. Buffed. In the silence, Guijia could not help but cover his mouth and laugh out loud. Li Ru glared at Guijia. What are you laughing at? No, no. Guijia waved his hand with an innocent expression. I just suddenly thought of a joke. Li Ru turned her head and vented her anger on the little assistant. She said sternly, speak clearly. What exactly is going on? I just received a reply message from the Federation this morning. They said that they have reviewed the mission video submitted last night and confirmed that the mission has been completed. They are very grateful to our Phoenix Sound Gaming Company. Also they are especially grateful to Mr. Fang Heng, who has completed the mission, for his assistance to the Federation. The little assistant lowered her head while making the report, not daring to look at Li Ru. When she received the news this morning, she was similarly in disbelief. The Federation is very satisfied with this operation. They said that they will strengthen their cooperation with us in the future. Li Ru's face was terrifyingly gloomy. She felt as though she had eaten **T. Li Ru had already inquired about this mission from many aspects. It was impossible to complete this mission related to Alex. Why did it end like this? Were all these people useless? The team leaders of the zombie apocalypse game looked at each other. Then, they lowered their heads and started to whisper. They all knew the difficulty of this mission. The difficulty was the time limit. As the game had just started, the overall strength of the players was still very low. Even if they switched servers, the highest level of the players was only level 4, and they didn't have any combat power. For a behemoth like the Federation, they couldn't even get rid of Alex with 2 rocket launchers. What could they do? Therefore, after discussion, all the teams came to the same conclusion. This was an impossible mission. But now, Fang Heng. Who was he? What ability did he have to complete that mission? Most of the people present had never heard of the name Fang Heng. President Li, Team 12 has achieved such results in such a short time. I think President Qin's leadership is pretty good. Guijia stood up casually and even stretched. Sigh, I'm tired, I'm so tired. Let's call it a day. I'll leave first, you guys continue. Li Ru gritted her teeth so hard that they were about to break. She stared at Guijia. Oh right, also, didn't you apply for the permission to obtain the S-level talent enhancement program a few days ago? I think we should let President Qin discuss this matter together. After all, there is only one slot left for this mission. We have to be more cautious, right? On the second day, Fang Heng slept until noon. Thinking that he could get his hands on the off-road transport vehicle when he went online, Fang Heng simply did not return to the company. He hurriedly went downstairs to grab a few mouthfuls of rice and directly logged into the game cabin in the villa. In the warehouse, the military transport vehicle had already arrived and was quietly parked behind the warehouse of the Federation's temporary resource point. Chen Yu brought Fang Heng to look at the vehicle together. Item: Ural 790 military off-road transport vehicle. Description: full-time all-wheel drive, with an independent suspension system and a central tire inflating system. It can carry people. In the wild, it can carry a payload of 4.5 tons. On hard roads, it can carry a payload of 6 tons. The vehicle can operate in climates ranging from -50°C to 50°C. Fang Heng, not bad, right? This big guy can't fit into your backpack. We'll fill it up for you and you can drive it away at any time. Compared to the last time they met, Chen Yu was much more enthusiastic. He had received instructions from his superior to try his best to rope in Fang Heng. It would be best if he could recruit him to work for the Federation. You're welcome. If there's anything else you need, just let me know. I'll try my best to help you. That's enough. I'm very satisfied. The various attributes of the transport vehicle could be said to be luxurious. Fang Heng rubbed his wrist. He couldn't wait to go up and try it out. With it, he hoped that the corpse vines in town could be packed up and taken away. In the future, using it to deliver goods would also be more convenient. The Federation was also very reliable. They even helped to fill up the truck with fuel. Ha ha ha, it's good that you're satisfied. Also, I'll ask you privately on behalf of Officer Li, are you interested in joining our Federation? Fang Heng raised his eyebrows in surprise. Huh? What? Join the Federation? He had so much dark history, and the Federation wanted to recruit him. This was the first time Chen Yu had done such a job as a pimp. He scratched his hair in embarrassment. I mean, if you're interested in joining the Federation, we can help you apply and join the core team of the Federation. Yeah, well, our benefits are quite good, the food is good, and if you perform well, you can even get a girlfriend. Chen Yu stopped talking. Hey, in short, the benefits are pretty good. A simple and honest smile appeared on Chen Yu's face. He felt that someone like Fang Heng would not have such concerns. Thank you, I'll consider it. All right, our Federation welcomes capable players like you at any time. If you have any intentions, you can come and look for me. Let's add each other as friends. We'll keep in touch in the future. If you need anything, you can contact us as well. After the battle with Alex yesterday, Chen Yu and Fang Heng were completely convinced. Yesterday, after the Federation team finished analyzing the video provided by Chen Yu and Fang Heng, they gave a very high evaluation to Fang Heng's team. The idea of a zombie pit wasn't that amazing. However, it was really too difficult to complete this plan. Ordinary people simply couldn't do it. Even the Federation couldn't do it. After repeated rounds, there were still 2 problems that plagued the Federation team. First, in order for the explosion to collapse the road surface at the intersection, most of the durability of the ceiling of the sewer had already been knocked off with a stone hammer. This resulted in the ground being blown off by more than a dozen small explosives. How long would it take to manually knock off a layer of durability? And how long would it take to dig a deep hole in the sewer? How did Fang Heng's team manage to take care of these 2 things in such a short time? The second question was also the one that puzzled the Federation the most. How did the zombie horde in the sewer disappear? What the hell? However, the Federation no longer had the energy to investigate how Fang Heng's team had completed their mission. Now, the Federation had even bigger problems. Previously, the Federation had spent a lot of effort and even offered a high reward to kill Alex. Their main goal was to obtain the corpse that was left behind after Alex's death. The corpse had already been burned into a pile of charcoal. They needed to spend even more effort and spend a large amount of King of Gods points to exchange for high-level items from the King of Gods space. They also needed to obtain a small portion of the research samples from Alex's corpse. There was nothing they could do. This was a part of the main mission of the zombie apocalypse and was closely related to the ending. No matter what price they had to pay, the Federation had to finish the main mission as soon as possible. We'll continue to work together next time. Of course. I'll treat you to a drink next time. After adding him as a friend, Chen Yu waved at Fang Heng and watched as he drove off in his truck. Chen Yu suddenly felt that something was wrong. That's weird. Isn't that the direction to Hope Town? Why did he drive the truck to Hope Town? Soon, Fang Heng parked the truck at the east gate of Hope Town. The news of the drastic decrease in the number of zombies in Hope Town quickly spread out. Fang Heng noticed that there were a few player teams outside the entrance of the town trying to find out the situation from afar. Fang Heng was worried that the truck would be destroyed by passers-by, so he had to spend a little more time. He controlled his zombie clones to come to the entrance of the town to greet them. Before long, the players outside the town saw an amazing scene. A group of zombie clones gathered at the entrance of the town. They lined up in a row and slowly moved forward. Behind them, a large military truck was following closely, slowly driving into Hope Town. Start counting the profits. Returning to the temporary residence, Fang Heng rubbed his hands excitedly and opened his character panel to count. Yesterday, he had accumulated close to 12,000 survival points and over 9,000 evolution crystal fragments. It was enough for 40 zombie clones to complete the transformation of the corpse vine parasite. Good. The transformation of the corpse vine parasite could quickly convert all the points into combat strength. Fang Heng controlled the zombie clones to approach the modified corpse vine one by one, completing the transformation of the corpse vine parasite. Hint: you have spent 12,000 survival points, 4,000 evolution crystal fragments and completed the parasitism of 40 zombies. After the players reached level 10, Fang Heng now had a total of 55 zombie clones. Among them, 43 had completed the transformation of the corpse vine, and the remaining 12 were still unmodified. After the modification, the strength of the single zombie clone had increased tremendously. One-on-one fighting against a Tier 1 mutated zombie was not a big problem. With these 43 vine zombies, Fang Heng felt like he was invincible again. Without considering other players creating a disturbance, he could even send these vine zombies to clean up the entire Hope Town. Also, apart from hacking to collect materials to clean up the wandering zombies, the zombie clones could also help defend the prison. At this stage, who could pass through the defensive net made up of these vine zombies? Just those 5 scums from the Dawn Guild. What was the difference between them coming over and delivering vegetables? Fang Heng controlled the vine zombie clones and had them carry 10 pots of corpse vines into the back of the truck. Finally, he forced 7 more vine zombies into the back of the truck. Another one was stuffed into the driver's cab. In order to save time, Fang Heng finally let all the remaining zombies stab each other to death on the spot. Done. Go home. 4 hours later, Fang Heng arrived outside the apocalypse camp. Before I go back to the prison, I might as well submit the T-virus mission on the way. Fang Heng muttered to himself. He stopped the truck and got a few vine zombies to go down, then left them on the side of the road. After that, he continued driving the truck into the apocalypse merchant camp. Seeing that Fang Heng's truck had arrived, the NPC unloading workers in the merchant camp all thought that it was a new job. They instinctively surrounded it and prepared to unload the goods from the truck. No, there are no materials in the truck. Disperse. Fang Heng smiled bitterly and quickly waved his hand to disperse the NPC workers. The truck was filled with corpse vines. What if they were accidentally infected? We're not here to deliver materials. The back of the truck is filled with dangerous infectious agents. Don't get too close. After shouting for a long time, the NPC unloading workers finally dispersed. Vettel heard the commotion outside and walked out of the small wooden cabin. His eyes lit up when he saw the military truck parked in the open space. My friend. Is this your new car? Ha ha ha. I haven't seen you for a few days. Looks like you've made some money outside. Come in and have a drink. It's on me. Ha 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 ha, you guessed it right. I went to Hope Town and got a lot of good stuff. Fang Heng was in a good mood. He laughed and entered the cabin with Vettel. Come and have a taste of the new wine I've received in the past 2 days. After entering the cabin, Vettel took out an old bottle of wine from under the counter and started bragging. It's rare to get such good wine on such a lousy day. There's no hurry to drink. Help me pay for this mission first. Fang Heng was afraid that Vettel would pass out from drinking. He took out 2 bottles of T-virus serum from his pocket and placed them on the counter. Oh! You got it so quickly. Seeing the T-virus serum that Fang Heng casually took out, Vettel let out a cry of surprise. Vettel's expression was very surprised, and even very excited. He carefully picked up the T-virus serum and placed it in his palm to observe. You managed to get 2 sets. To be honest, Fang Heng, you're really beyond my expectations. That's too surprising. Believe me, these 2 sets of T-virus serum will definitely make the Dark Knights look at you in a whole new light. Look at me in a whole new light. Just based on this mission reward, I'm prepared to empty their entire camp. Fang Heng muttered to himself. Vettel, don't be anxious. Look at these again. As he spoke, Fang Heng took out the corpse vine samples, the corpse vine parasite samples and Alex's samples from his backpack one by one and placed them neatly on the counter. Vettel looked at these samples with a little doubt. Fang Heng, what are these things? It's troublesome to explain. You'll know once you look at this. Fang Heng also handed over the researcher's notebook that he had brought out from the hospital's secret research room. The game log began to sputter with messages. Hint, mission completion. Mission name, find the T-virus serum. Difficulty, SSS. Basic mission requirement, find the T-virus serum. Current basic mission completion rate, 200%. Optional side mission 1, collect the corpse vine sample, additional 1.5 times basic reward, Optional side mission 1 completion rate, 100%. Optional side mission 2, collect the corpse vine parasite sample, additional 2 times basic reward, Optional side mission 2 completion rate, 507%. Optional side mission 3, find Alex's main body or sample, additional 4 times basic reward, Optional side mission 3 completion rate, 200%. Total mission completion rate, 200% asterisk, 1 plus 1.5 by 100% plus 2 by 507% plus 4 by 200% equals 4,128%. Damn. 41 times the reward. So I'm so greedy. Looking at the row of messages in the game log, Fang Heng was also surprised. This calculation formula was somewhat different from what he had expected, but it was still shocking enough. Vettel quickly flipped through the experimental notebook that Fang Heng handed over. The more he read, the more excited he became. That big face full of whiskers turned red from excitement. Fang Heng. Amazing. I never thought that you could do this. Corpse vine. That mutated plant really exists. Unbelievable. Oh my god. It's a high-level experimental subject. Alex. You killed it. And even got a live sample of it. Do you know? With these samples, the progress of the Dark Knights research project will be greatly improved. Maybe we can find a way to restore peace to this world. Vettel had never been so incoherent before. Because he was too excited, he stared at Fang Heng with a burning gaze, and his voice became louder uncontrollably. Fang Heng. Your discovery and the samples you brought back are too valuable. Do you know? You might be able to change this world. Was there a need to be so excited? Not to the extent that it was not necessary. Cough, cough. Fang Heng coughed lightly. Okay, I got it, Vettel, don't be so excited, just calm down. Excited? No. This isn't considered excited. When the Dark Knights find out about your samples, they'll be even crazier than me. Vettel tried hard to calm himself down. He carefully took over the various samples on the counter. Fang Heng, I could have settled the reward for you directly, but I'm sorry, your mission completion rate has far exceeded the range of the rewards I can provide. I'll contact my friend from the Dark Knights now. He'll come to see you personally and settle the reward for you. What do you think? Of course, Vettel. Ha ha ha, I'm proud to have a friend like you. You can stay here tonight. We'll drink until we're drunk. I'll call my friend right now. Believe me, he'll definitely rush over after hearing the news. I bet 50 cents that you'll see him at dawn tomorrow. Hint, you've completed the mission with flying colors. Your friendship with Vettel has greatly improved. Vettel, forget about tonight. We'll celebrate next time. I still have things to do, so I need to return to the prison shelter as soon as possible. Fang Heng pointed at the large truck outside. I brought back some specialties from Hope Town. It's not safe for them to stay here for the night. Vettel turned to look at the truck outside. All right then. I'll save this bottle of good wine for tomorrow's celebration. Are you free to come here tomorrow morning? My friend from the Dark Knights wants to see you as soon as possible. Of course. By the way, I have another question to ask you. It's about the talent enhancement plan. Do you know about it? Oh. So soon. Your special talent has also awakened. Vettel looked at Fang Heng and nodded. Indeed. Many people have awakened their special talents since the zombie apocalypse. With your ability, it's reasonable for you to awaken your special talent. Then you've come to the right person. I have quite a lot of information on the plans to improve your talent and ability. With our friendship, I can give you the best one for free. Don't tell anyone. Vettel turned around and took out a rolled-up paper list from a box behind the counter. Take this. This is my private collection. Hint, you have obtained an individual talent enhancement plan, unappraised, level, A*1. Hint, you can use 300 survival points to appraise this plan. Description, after appraising, the King of Gods will create a talent evolution plan that is suitable for the current player's talent. Description, after the appraisal is completed, the talent evolution plan will bind the soul. It's an A-level talent enhancement plan. It was said that the highest level talent enhancement plan that could be exchanged in the Apocalypse Merchant Camp was a B-level talent enhancement plan. Who would have thought that Vettel would give an A-level talent enhancement plan? Fang Heng thought that this could indeed be considered Vettel's most precious treasure. Even though his current goal was an S-level talent enhancement plan. Thank you, Vettel. I can feel the deep friendship between us. Of course. I have always been forthright with my friends. That's what people outside say. Hint, you have completed the appraisal after deducting 300 survival points. You have obtained an individual talent enhancement transformation plan zombie clone physique enhancement. Individual talent enhancement plan zombie clone physique enhancement. Level A. Enhancement description, collect relevant materials to complete talent enhancement. Enhancement effect description, your zombie clone can inherit an additional 300% HP bonus from the main body. You will also receive additional weight bearing. You will receive an additional 30% bonus when determining your physique attribute. Fang Heng read the enhancement description in detail. He was very dissatisfied. His current zombie clone had more than 1000 HP, which was more than enough for him. It was more than enough to deal with ordinary zombies. If he encountered a higher level mutated zombie, even if his zombie clone's HP doubled, it would be useless. Continuing to enhance his zombie clone's physique attribute was very weak for Fang Heng. This enhancement plan was completely useless. How is it? Are you not satisfied? Vetter saw something from Fang Heng's expression. He spread his hands and said helplessly, I can't help it. This is the best transformation plan I can find. I think the Dark Knights must have a better plan. You can try asking them. They have always been very generous to their people. Thank you, Vettel. You have always helped me. I will come back tomorrow morning. You don't have to be so polite. We are all helping each other. This month, our Apocalypse Camp's performance is at the top tier. Oh right, our camp is about to be upgraded and we are still in urgent need of some materials. Take a look. Fang Heng threw the A-level enhancement plan that he got from the Apocalypse Merchant Camp for free into his backpack. The attributes were very poor, so he did not need the plan. After leaving the Apocalypse Merchant Camp, Fang Heng drove the truck back to the prison. Good guy. Boss, you even have a military transport vehicle after going out for a few days. During the time that Fang Heng was not around, Liao Bufan had already completed all the repairs to the prison. The prison's main gate had also been repaired. Due to the lack of electricity, Liao Bufan had no choice but to personally run over to help open the prison's main gate. Looking at the large truck slowly entering the prison, Liao Bufan's face was filled with envy. This truck is worth a lot of money. Big brother, where did you buy this from? Fang Heng parked the truck outside the entrance of the prison's building number 3 and jumped out of the truck. Hope Town, I got it from the Federation. Liao Bufan swallowed his saliva. The Federation. What on earth did Big Brother go out for? The Federation actually sent such high-level goods like military trucks to him. Let's go, let's talk inside. Fang Heng and Liao Bufan walked into building number 3 together. Within a few days, Liao Bufan and the others had reinforced and tidied up parts of building number 3 other than the basement. The interior of building number 3 had also been carefully cleaned by the NPCs. It was much cleaner than before. Did Prisoner Snake's group make any movements? Did anyone come to investigate the prison? They don't have the time to deal with us now. Ah. What do you mean? Liao Bufan shook his head with a troubled look on his face. Sigh. They were lucky to find an abandoned iron mine in the forest. Iron mine. They were so lucky. Fang Heng raised his eyebrows and immediately became interested. In the game, iron ores were the most widely used basic mineral materials. What happened? Tell me in detail. Liao Bufan told Fang Heng in detail what had happened during this period. Generally speaking, Prisoner Snake and his group did want to seize the prison and take revenge at the beginning. After Prisoner Snake reported the information about the prison to the Dawn Gaming Guild, the guild immediately gave strong support and prepared to send people to join the game after the game server transfer function was activated. During that period, Prisoner Snake had sent people to secretly scout around the prison more than once. But he didn't expect that just a few days ago, Prisoner Snake and his group of people unexpectedly found an abandoned iron mine in the forest. When the Dawn Guild heard this news, they were ecstatic. On the day the server changed, the Dawn Guild sent a large number of new players to District 8, occupying the abandoned iron mine resource point immediately. The iron mine resource point and the sturdy prison shelter. They were the best combination ever. In the past 2 days, the Dawn Guild had been wantonly purchasing smelting furnaces and other refining equipment, starting to build around the iron mine resource point. They were so busy that they did not have the time to come to the prison. That's the gist of the situation. According to my judgment, the prison is their next target. Sooner or later, they will come and look for us. Earlier today, I saw them using the survival radio to threaten the players who live nearby to leave as soon as possible and don't block their way. Fang Heng shrugged. As expected of their style. Liao Bufan sighed worriedly. Sigh, I've been observing them secretly. There are more than 40 players from the Dawn Guild who have entered the game. I reckon that they'll soon be able to make iron rods and knives with stronger combat abilities with the iron ores. When the time comes, they might just start with us. Liao Bufan was unusually serious. Fang Heng, we need to make preparations. Fang Heng lowered his head and pondered. He felt that Liao Bufan's words made a lot of sense. Rather than passively defending, it was better to attack and finish them off once and for all while they were still accumulating strength. The most important point was iron ore. That was iron ore. Whether it was the upgrading and expansion of the shelter or the production of basic production items, iron ore was a basic consumable. If they did not go and snatch it, would they be able to sleep well at night?